And good evening, everybody. Welcome again to another season of Salle College High School football, live on Bob Long Sports. Bob Long, Seamus Morgan, and Rob Stott alongside. Rob's been my guy doing this for years now. It's great to have you back, my friend, and the Explorers donning a new look themselves with the bright stripe coming across the shoulders. Certainly looking forward for what should be a great season with a new look and a lot of new faces for this Explorer team.
It's year 4, and we're just excited to be back, Bob. Thank you for having me back. I feel like I haven't been a burden, I don't think, so I keep getting invited back, so I guess I must be doing something right.
And a newcomer here, Seamus Morgan. Welcome to the broadcast. This is your first time calling LaSalle football, but you've been certainly around the program for a long time. And a game like this against Imhotep should really be something special because of really the talent on both sides here tonight.
Oh, well, thanks for having me, Bob. I'm really excited about this. You know, longtime follower of Bob Long Sports. It's great to finally be on the air and calling a exciting season opener. You know, heard a lot. Don't know much about LaSalle coming into the year. A lot up in the air, but they're going up against a talented team, and we'll see how they match up tonight.
Well, you said it exactly right. There's not a lot that a lot of people know about this LaSalle team, other than they're going to be led by a new quarterback in Jack Machida. He's a junior coming in at 5'10", has a really solid arm, and we saw a little bit from him last year, Rob. Kind of more in garbage time, but his role as a sophomore was to get that experience when the time allowed, and now he comes in. It is 100% his show.
It is, and he's going to have 2 years worth maybe if he plays his cards right to really grow into this system and grow as a quarterback, grow as a student athlete, and see where he can kind of take this program.
On the Imhotep side, the Panthers will be led at the quarterback position by either Jalen Smith Christian or Steve DePaul. Now, Jalen Sutton Christian last year was the guy that led this program all the way to the state championship game. They lost that game to Cathedral Prep. Steve DePaul, he's been now at his third school in 3 years, transferred to North Penn last year. They had a solid year. Now coming in, competing for the job to take over for an incumbent that took you to the state championship. That's a guy who's not afraid of a challenge, and we still don't know who it is that we'll see out there under center tonight for the Panthers.
Either way, they're going to have someone that is an experienced quarterback that has sort of taken their team on their shoulders and led them to success in high school football. So one way or the other, it seems like it's going to be a good year for Imhotep.
Imhotep, led by Nick Lincoln, the head coach. This dynasty that Imhotep has had at the 4A level began with Albie Crosby, who came in the year 2013 and or left in 2013, but really has been a tremendous coach. Now for Newman Goretti, taking them to new heights as well. But Nick Lincoln has done a great job continuing that tradition. Now what we're going to do is turn your attention to the field as they are playing the national anthem here at Cardinal Stadium. And that's the LaSalle High School pep band playing the national anthem, and now we'll have the captains at midfield for both teams to decide who will kick first, who will go which way, and then for the earliest time of year ever, we'll be underway for the 2018 high school football season.
I was a little thrown off by that myself, Bob. You know, you call me and say the game is happening in the next week or so, and I'm like, man, I usually – first of all, I'm usually not here for the first game. Second of all, it doesn't feel like it's always before school starts. I don't know. Maybe that's just me. or at least this long before school starts. So clearly it is a very early game, but neat to be here and be out and ready for a fresh season.
Yeah, you said it. This is really like the first feeling of fall kind of coming in with football season coming around. I usually feel like Labor Day weekend's the big weekend it kicks off, but it's exciting to have an early start this year.
And a sad reminder maybe for these student athletes that classes get underway in just over a week.
That's the spirit. So it'll be Imhotep in their white tops, bottoms, and the helmets. A sharp look here for the Panthers. They'll be kicking off. LaSalle in their gold helmets, the blue tops, and the gold pants, set to receive, and it'll be Daly and Tatum deep to receive. Really looking forward to seeing what Daly does this year. He's expected to have a big impact, and it starts on the return side. A toe kick. Daly will take it at the 15, straight uphill to the 30, finds a seam and is out to the 38-yard line, and that is where the era of Jack Machida under center will begin for LaSalle.
It's going to be interesting to see how they come out, Bob. This is a team you remember last year. They returned, if I remember correctly, every single starter on both sides of the ball as far as the offensive and defensive lines were concerned. So this is a lot of opportunities for people to step up and kind of fill some big shoes that were left behind and make their mark on LaSalle football.
I mean, really, in a lot of ways, 11 new starters, as Daly really only saw time on the defensive side of the ball, and all 4 seniors, 5 seniors even, on the offensive line graduated. Here's the give up the middle. First carry for Jalen DeVos, gets 1 yard. DeVos, a really strong runner. Looking forward to seeing what he does this year. He got some time later in the games last year, and I know we were both impressed, Rob, by his ability to run downhill.
Yeah, he was a very sparky, kind of quick running back, and it was always good to see him get in late in those games and finally gets his opportunity as a starter and does okay on a first little short gain. But
Machida in the shotgun. Here's the handoff. Right into the line and taken down. A good play up the middle by number 56 for Imhotep. And that was Lamar Johnson. Lamar Johnson, one of the guys that nose tackle that we were really, really looking forward to seeing tonight. It was one of the featured pieces of this Imhotep defense. It's their ability to stuff the run up the middle, and Lamar Johnson, a big reason why. 3rd down and 8. LaSalle splits 2 receivers out wide. Big Khalil Diarra, look at him, number 83, on the inside, on the near side of the field here. He can go and get one. Straight drop back for Machida. A lot of time over the middle, and there's Diarra catching it past the 50-yard line and into Panther territory.
That's a nice first look for Machida to step back, wait for his tight end to get open right across the middle of the field, finding that gap in the coverage and firing a strike right to him.
Yeah, he really looks like a big guy out there that hopefully can exploit the middle of the secondary all night long.
Well, you're right about that, Seamus. There's nobody on that defense that has that size. Diarra at 6'6" was a key player, first guy off the bench for the basketball team last year, and a little bit raw for some of the folks associated with the program, but really, really has come in and learned the system well in his first year playing with the program. Here's a big run up the middle. A first down and a lot more. Jalen DeVos runs downhill off tackle.
That was a strong run to the left side. Nice to see this line early on sort of getting their mark, really putting their imprint on this Imhotep defense and showing them that they came to play week 1 here.
10 minutes exactly on the clock. Ticking now. LaSalle on the 31-yard line of Imhotep. First drive of the season. A couple nice conversions. Here's Machida rolling to his right. Good block there. Throws it just high and wide of Sean Daly. Couldn't come down with it. 2nd and 10.
That rollout, the bootlegs, those were kind of the go-to for LaSalle over the last couple of years. That's the bread and butter. So didn't work there first time for Machida, but I'm sure he'll see plenty more of those as the season goes on.
I'm interested to see how this Imhotep defense is going to respond. A little bit undersized, again, besides Lamar Johnson right up the middle, the big boy there at nose tackle. To see if they're going to get any pressure on Machida. He's had pretty much all the time he's needed so far in the limited action we've seen so far. Here's Machida, quick, gets it out. Nice catch made. Thought he might have gone down to the knee. Referee says no. Gets about a yard or two extra, and it'll be third down and short inside the 25-yard line.
It was a nice shoelace grab there by Daly to go down and get a low throw by Machida, but able to turn it into a nice gain and make this a manageable third down.
Interesting here, guys. Don't know what the field goal situation looks like this year. Dan Carish was reliable, and before that, Mike Wells. And again, just like the offense, a lot of new pieces. And here's a new wrinkle that LaSalle was about to pull out, and Imhotep. Well, actually, LaSalle called the timeout, but we knew this could happen. Sean Daly, number 5, runs some Wildcat. We saw that with Brett Malley last year, who's out for the year with an injury. But Daly taking on that role, and it looked like they were going to pull something out, and still might, Rob, after the timeout.
Never know. You know, this is an offense that they like to. They have weapons. They like to use them all, put them in different positions, and you know, it worked pretty well for them last year. So it'll be interesting to see if they stick with it, how it kind of rolls on option number 1 or chance number 1, I guess, for this season. So apparently weren't ready quite yet to run it. Needed a couple more seconds.
Well, it might have been the way they were lined up, somebody out of position. So we'll see if they come right back to it. Seamus Morgan gets you in on this one. You're the offensive coordinator. You're going back to the Wildcat here.
You know, I say why not. You know, it's early in the season, first drive. They've been in a little bit of a groove so far. What they've been calling seems to be working. They've been moving the ball in the middle down pretty well, a couple good plays. So I say give it a shot, but it looks like they may pass it here.
Yes, they do. A quick one. Catch made, extending for the line, and they were well beyond it. A first down by the Explorers inside the 20-yard line.
Nice quick little out route there, is a little stop and go for Machida, just a nice timing route, and finds his man and picks up a big first down here. Nice first drive to start the season.
And that was the first catch of the season for Luke Hardy, who is expected to have a tremendous year at the wide receiver spot for this team. Really impressed in summer camp. Hardy now lined up in the slot. Here's the drop back, thrown to the outside, and it dropped. Jalen DeVoe's got a hand on it. Broken up there on the play by number 2, Tyke Smith.
And, you know, if they keep getting opportunities like that all night long, though, and they're able to catch those, they're going to look pretty good, I think.
You mentioned the size, and, I mean, I feel weird talking about this because I'm a small guy. But, you know, it's very visible looking out at this field right now to see just how overmatched or how big this LaSalle team looks compared to Imhotep. It'll be interesting to see if that impacts, you know, the durability of Imhotep as the game goes on.
Here's Daly. He pulls it up the middle. He gets hit hard.
He's a little woozy getting up.
He does. Pops off the helmet there, at least off the chin straps for a second to get himself together.
But that size, to go back to it real quick, that could really wear down this Imhotep team as the night wears on, and it'll be interesting to see how they kind of hold up against this big Explorer, you know, offense.
Yeah, big, but Rob, also inexperienced, and an Imhotep team that undoubtedly has more experience than this LaSalle team has. It's had a lot of success, so it definitely goes both ways. Now a pistol formation. Jalen DeVoe's the deep back. Handoff directly goes to DeVoe's up the middle. It's going to be close. He's right near the line to gain. It was 3rd and 4 coming in. He got about 4.
Looks like they're giving it the 4th down.
Yep, it'll be a half a yard short, and LaSalle is keeping the offense onto the field. Looks like they're moving quick here as well.
Riverboat Rob always says go for it, especially, you know, first drive of the season. You got inches to go. Why not? You're so deep in Imhotep territory.
Looks like it could be a dive here for DeVoe's, and it is. DeVoe's muscles forward. He gets plenty.
A great move and calling the play real fast, keeping the defense on their toes. Never really had time to set up for a play or anything like that.
And that's absolutely a situation where size was to LaSalle's advantage. They just let those linemen go to work and get Imhotep on their heels and drive forward for the first down.
Far side, you have number 83, Khalil Diarra, one-on-one against the smaller defender. Let's see if they go that way. Instead, it's the other way. Stripped and incomplete. Referee comes in right away, blows the whistle. Incomplete as the arm of Machida was going forward.
And that might just be an experience. But, Bob, you pointed it out right away, saw that matchup. That's something that Machita's got to look for. I'm sure coaches probably recognize that on the sideline, and they'll go back and show him that I mean, when you got a guy that's 6'6" on the outside one-on-one with no over-the-top help, you got to look that way.
Now Diarra will come off the field, replaced by Sean Daly. Ball right at the 10. Or I'm sorry, the 5. We mentioned this last year at this field, Rob. They break off the word Cardinals in Upper Dublin in the end zone into the back 5 yards of the end zone because of the soccer lines. It's actually 5 yards into the end zone. It's tough to visualize, but they're at the 5. DeVoe's right up the middle. First contact and continues to churn the legs and gets 2. It'll be 3rd down and 3 from the 3. Goal to go for the Explorers here.
It is a tough field to look at. So many lines happen. I know they're different colors. The white stands out for football, but white and yellow when you get down, you're looking that far away. They don't make the job easy for us.
But we say with certainty, 3 to go here for the Explorers. They need the end zone.
And the UD really blends into the field with the dark colors and everything.
Here's pistol formation. Machita. And DeVoe's is the deep back. They fake the give. Tatlangari makes the catch and slides to the end zone. Touchdown, LaSalle. They are on the board here in 2018.
And there's that bootleg. Machita gets another chance at it, rolls out, fires, finds his man with a beautiful strike right in the front corner of the end zone, basically. And Tatlangari makes a nice little dive to get the ball across the line. And we got our Explorers up 6-0.
Great way not only to start the game, but to start the season, especially an offense coming in, inexperienced, and this has got to be a good feeling for them, the way they move the ball. No big plays, but they really chipped away at the yardage, and I think that wore down the defense, and if they keep doing that, that'll be a good thing.
Talk about baseball and manufacturing runs. That felt like a very manufactured drive for this offense. Very methodical the way they went down. Showed a little bit of everything. The run game, the pass game, getting guys out, moving in different directions, getting everyone involved in the offense. So pretty impressive first drive, I'd say.
5 minutes and 31 seconds on that drive, capped off by the Liam Tatlangari touchdown reception, a 3-yard catch from the hands of Jack Machita, and the Explorers lead. Jake Gandolfo, the kicker. Seven 0 Explorers. Jake Gandolfo, we mentioned the kicker, his first opportunity to lead the squad, and he will now kick it deep. And we'll get our first look at Imhotep's offense. Back deep to receive. Yusef Terry, the Baylor recruit, about as talented as it gets here in this area. And Deshaun Seals headed to West Virginia next year. And they're going to angle it Terry's way, over his head and into the end zone. So Gandolfo.
Daniel who?
Tell you what, picking up where Dan Karish left off.
Whew. Something about these LaSalle boys and their legs, man. They got just some power behind them. They don't miss a beat year to year. It's crazy.
So now our first look at the Panther offense of Imhotep. A tremendous year last year, all the way to the state championship. Part of a run that's been really quite some time here for this team. It's been pretty much the southeastern part of the state and the northwestern part of the state battling it out in 4A for some time. The 4A team that won it last year, Cathedral Prep, and of course that is on the minds of this Imhotep team this year. It is Steve DePaul under center, takes the first snap and throws it deep, has a man and overthrows Deshaun Seals. Seals about the fastest guy that this Imhotep team has, but couldn't quite chase that one down.
And LaSalle got a lot of pressure in the backfield, so that was a rush throw. It was almost a very accurate throw. Just missed his man by a step, missed Sealed by a step, but, good job by the Explorers getting through that line and getting pressure on the quarterback.
I think it's time just to take a quick step back. I'm just surprised that DePaul comes in and overtakes Jalen Sutton Christian.
Yeah, it must be obviously we don't get a look at practice, but they must be seeing something and like their new guy.
That's a big-time hit from the Explorers. Dylan Traynor, the linebacker, expected to come in and play the same type of role that Liam did a few years ago for this team.
I'm interested to see with the quarterback position. Maybe they're going to switch it up some throughout the game. You know, they got 2 experienced quarterbacks. It'll be very intriguing to see what they do throughout the game.
I think that's a very real possibility because they play a slightly different style. DePaul certainly can move, but more of a passer, and certainly Jalen Sutton Christian can do the same thing, but DePaul has made his hat at 3 different schools now for his ability to throw the ball out of the pocket. Here's a screen, lining up, and some room to the outside for Yusef Terry. Terry taken down, and it looks to be 1 yard shy of a first down.
They got nice blocking out on the outside there, too, for Terry, so able to pick up a good chunk of yards there on 3rd down.
4th down and 1. The offense is on the field. They're moving quickly, very deep in their own territory. LaSalle slides the nose tackle, and they jumped. They jumped offside. It'll be first down coming up here for Imhotep. You wonder if Imhotep was ever going to snap that football.
My guess is no, and that's early season jitters, I think, for the Explorers. Wanting to get into that backfield too quick, make a play. Ball's got to be snapped first, boys.
So Imhotep with new life on their first drive. 5:07 to play in the first quarter. LaSalle a 7-0 lead over the Road Panthers. DePaul takes the snap. Has a man wide open and a lot of room to run. Up past the 50 and tripped down at the 45-yard line. Zaimir Cobbs on the reception.
And that's that same bootleg that you see there for Imhotep. Just able to roll out, find his man, uncovered basically. Just had a lot of green in front of him.
Clock ticks at 4:51.
Was a nice job by Joyce, though, catching up and making that tackle from behind.
DePaul now takes the snap. Here's the give. And LaSalle right there to make the play after a gain of 2. Imhotep's tried to go in between the tackles a couple times now, and LaSalle has stood up.
It's nice to see this defensive front kind of step up early. Not allow any big runs. They're getting pressure. Obviously just facing a good veteran quarterback that can make throws. So it'll be interesting to see how this up-front battle plays out throughout the night.
DePaul back in the pistol. Ball at the 42. 2nd down and 8. And it's going to be a delay of game as the flag comes from the back umpire. 5-yard penalty, and it will be 2nd and long for the Panthers.
Crowd wanted offsides, but they got a flag one way or the other.
So the thing there, the tough thing is that receiver's in the slot, and a lot of times the referee, if there's an issue, will tell the player, hey, you got to back up. You're not really going to see the referee often remain silent, let a player be a half-yard offside, and then throw the flag when the ball is snapped. You often don't see that, and the referee just didn't see what these folks were seeing here in the stands.
Oh, man, this crowd really wants a flag, and it looks like they got it.
Maybe the crowd's getting in Imhotep's head a little bit.
So now it'll be 2nd down and 18, 10 yards of flags before the ball was snapped. So now if you're LaSalle, maybe an opportunity for this new-look defensive line to get some pressure, whether you bring another linebacker in addition to the 4-man rush or you just try to get pressure through the one-technique tackles. Here maybe is the time to go after Steve DePaul.
Looking like they're going with a 3-4 right now, 3 down. So definitely the extra linebacker trying to get a good rush here.
Motion for Imhotep. Here's the give. LaSalle can't make the first tackle. Now an opportunity up the sideline, turn it on an extra gear. And some late contact as he's nudged out of bounds at the 38-yard line. A good run there for Tyke Smith.
That was a nice job up front by Imhotep, just kind of creating that edge, giving their guy an opportunity to get outside and turn that ball upfield.
Yeah, kind of a little bit of a missed opportunity for LaSalle there, especially on a 2nd and 18 to try and make it a long and 3rd, but we'll see if they can rebound here.
Well, and the other part of that, James, you're exactly right, because I think no matter what happens on this play, I think they're going for it on 4th. So now you give Imhotep 2 plays to think about it from short yardage. It'll be DePaul once again in the pistol. He audibles. Saw something in this Explorer formation.
That's clock
as they
again.
feign blitz, and LaSalle, I think by putting that blitz package up there, caused DePaul to take too much time.
This again looks like just more, it's easy to say first game of the season, working kinks out, getting the rust off, but some of that in there as well, I'm sure. Some kind of mistakes
New quarterback
you won't see.
under center.
Yep. A lot of changing parts, so stuff you might not see later on in the season as these guys get some more snaps and live game action under their belts.
3:46 to play, first quarter. LaSalle still leading 7-0. Imhotep with their first drive offensively of the season. Now in motion comes Karam Cummings. Here's the snap. They're going to throw it deep. They have a man open. Catch made by Terry. He'll walk into the end zone. Touchdown, Imhotep.
And that's just two talented high school football players connecting. Early on here, week 1 for Imhotep, that was a gorgeous pass, and just Terry able to get by his man and walk into the end zone.
Yeah, nice play by Imhotep. It seems so far on both drives that there's a little bit of a mismatch in the secondary versus the receiver, so you wonder if this is going to be a big passing game.
Yusef Terry, as I mentioned earlier, a Baylor recruit. Certainly Matt Rule would love the opportunity to coach a guy like that. Pure speed, he's got some size as well, and just a tremendous athlete. Now they'll go for 2. This is Tyke Smith. He'll take it right up the middle. Contact made. He pushes through into the end zone.
Got a flag coming in from the backfield, though.
And a hold is called against Imhotep. Now this makes it interesting. Don't know the status of their kicking situation. Either they really like their offense or they really don't trust their kicker. So now we'll see what they do as they walk this off 10 yards.
Is it year 2 for Rule down in Baylor? Or has he been there? How long
This
ago
would
did he leave
be
Temple?
year 2 for him.
So I wonder if Terry's a name maybe he knew while he was up here. I don't know if, Temple's looking at guys at the high school level starting sophomore year, so it could be some familiarity there.
Sure.
I wonder if that's part of the Baylor connection.
Right on the play, holding against Imhotep.
So now they back it up to the 12. And this will be very interesting to see what type of play they pull out here.
Wow, look at this, going for it.
Again, like I mentioned, they certainly may not trust their kicking game. DePaul in the shotgun, rolls to his right. LaSalle gets good pressure there and takes them down. So they retain that 1-point lead with 3:40 to play in the first quarter. And what's been an entertaining 8+ minutes of football. We'll get another look at this Machida-led offense on the LaSalle side.
Excellent job by Trainer getting through the line and into the backfield and breaking that up. This could be something, if you're talking about offenses going tit for tat all game long, you don't have a kicking game. That could be a big difference maker by the time this one's done.
Folks, want to appreciate everybody coming back. This is our 4th year doing LaSalle College High School football. It's gotten better and better every single year. The technology has improved. We're now doing video, and a big part of that is thanks to our friends over at Dunphy Ford in the Northeast. Kevin Dunphy, a guy that from day one has been really our biggest advocate, and we appreciate his support and everything he's done for us from a financial perspective, and certainly from a perspective of just being there for us in every single way, shape, form, year, without fail. It's allowed us to go to the video. It's allowed us to put some of the graphics that you see up right now. And we certainly appreciate everything they do and hope that the LaSalle community understands what a good LaSalle man, LaSalle family the Dunphys are. And please go give them your support because they've certainly given us theirs. Now here's the kick. And LaSalle will take it out. A full head of steam there up to the 30 and out past the 32-yard line to about the 33 where Jack Machida will lead the offense once again. Rob Tatum took that one back about 20 yards.
Look to my left here, Bob, and it's nice to see the support of the LaSalle students section is pretty packed tonight.
In fact, you probably have some freshmen there that have not even stepped foot on campus yet for classes.
That is the Explorer way, man. Awesome to see that kind of school spirit.
Jack Machida, number 15, his show this year, the junior quarterback, with Jalen DeVos to his left. Here's the give on the jet sweep to Sean Daly. DeVos lays a nice block, and Daly gets about 2. It was a heck of a block there from DeVos, or it might have been a loss.
It's a nice job getting his body in the way and sacrificing a little bit of himself, even if it is only for a yard or 2. It's nice to see that kind of commitment on a play.
Second down and 8, clock ticks. Under 3 minutes to play here in this first quarter. LaSalle leading by a point on the missed 2-point conversion from Imhotep.
Love to see them try to open this offense up.
Throws into traffic. What a catch by Luke Hardy. Goes up and gets it.
He really went for it on that play. It's a 2-man coverage right there.
And that shows some arm strength from Machida because he had a very tight window to fit that ball in, and he gunned it in there.
And confidence,
Yeah,
I guess.
something like that.
Really excited, as I mentioned earlier, to see what Luke Hardy does for this team. He's a guy that you just see. You come here early for warm-ups. He's leading the charge vocally. He's leading the charge by his actions. He's the treasurer of the school this year, and a senior that's certainly going into his role, taking it seriously, and is expected to have one heck of a year. 3rd and short. They'll throw it over the middle. Hardy goes and gets it, but dropped the football, and they blow it dead late. Wow, they gave him the catch.
Oh, wow. Called
Referees are coming in.
Progress?
That is a tough call. How that's a catch and not a fumble or not an incomplete pass, I'm not sure. We'll have the call here momentarily.
First chance for the – nope, incomplete.
And I think that's the right call.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you didn't necessarily make a football move. I guess NFL cleared up their catch rules a little bit this year. So, no football move was made. And I guess the only thing you could have argued there was forward progress was stopped. But even if you're calling that, he dropped the ball, then I don't know. The easiest thing to do is to just say incomplete. Let's go again.
So now LaSalle, it's their time to keep the offense on the field. And we got ourselves some aggressive decision-making being made on both sides. This, again, inside LaSalle's own territory on 4th down. And will that be movement or will that be offside? LaSalle seems convinced it'll be encroachment.
I'm going to talk about it again.
Liam Tatlingari, the only thing I'll say is he absolutely moved in the slot. Now, whether Imhotep caused him to move could be the call. And that's what it's going to be. First down, LaSalle. So you've had 2 4th down conversions. Well, we'll say they weren't even really 4th down attempts, but they lined up, and both times the defenses jumped. On their own side of midfield.
Got these veteran QBs under center. Those hard counts, making them work.
So now LaSalle, they breathe new life. It'll be DeVos to the left of Jack Machida and Liam Tatlingari to Machida's right. Here's the snap. They fake the give. Machida avoids one, cannot avoid the second, and that's a big one. 7-yard loss for Machida on the sack from Imhotep.
Imhotep really gave him no time there to get settled or anything. They great job on the rush there by the line.
Yeah, I was going to say that's the first time we really saw Machida not have time to get himself set and look downfield. So,
yeah, besides that, LaSalle's been doing a great job up front, giving him time. I mean, we saw it on the first drive, and hopefully it stays that way.
And if they do, that might have been the opportunity there they were looking for, but I would love to see what I was saying about opening it up. Get some guys going downfield. You got speed at the wideout position. Let's see what that arm looks like for Machida.
Trips to the left. 2nd down and long. Here's pressure from the outside, dumps it down to DeVos. DeVos gets up to the 45-yard line. I think a missed block there from number 78, and could not quite split Jalen DeVos.
Basically picked up what we lost on the sack, and that brings up 3rd and 10.
Under 1 minute to play in this first quarter of the 2018 season. LaSalle a 7-6 lead over Imhotep. LaSalle's second drive offensively of the game. No drive has resulted
in anything other than a touchdown.
That's right.
2 for 2 so far.
3rd and 10, Machida straight back, runs out of time again, and is taken down. A big-time sack in there on the play. Zymir Cobbs along with Nasir Dean.
That was, again, just a breakdown up front for the offensive line of LaSalle. Imhotep, 3 guys all over Machida.
Yeah, and Sean Small was the 3rd guy. He might have made first contact. One of the guys on the outside on this defensive line that I think is going to make this Imhotep team very difficult to handle.
10-yard loss on the play.
And they're not going to snap this one. They'll let the clock run down to 0, and that is the end of the first quarter. Your score, LaSalle 7, Imhotep 6. An entertaining game so far as LaSalle opens up its season.
A set of keys has been found.
We'll take a break, come back on the other side. You are watching LaSalle College High School football live here on BLS.
We have access to the cars and trucks you want with financing you need. Dumpy Ford is Northeast Philly's first choice for America's #1 brand. 7700 Frankfurt Avenue in Mayfair. Online at www.dumpyford.com.
Come experience the Dumpy difference. You'll be glad you did.
Dunphy Ford is Mayfair's neighborhood Ford store.
Nobody knows your neighborhood like Dunphy Ford.
Nearly 40 years.
Right here on Frankfurt Avenue. Generation after generation. Our neighbors continue to be our customers.
We have access to the cars and trucks you want with financing you need. Dumpy Ford is Northeast Philly's first choice for America's #1 brand. 7700 Frankfurt Avenue in Mayfair. Online at www.dumpyford.com.
Come experience the Dumpy difference. You'll be glad you did.
As we're back to action here in the second quarter, kick from Jake Gandolfo downed at the 43-yard line, and Imhotep will start again offensively. The last drive was a touchdown from Yusef Terry, thrown by Steve DePaul. And now looking to come down and take the lead back from the Explorers.
Let's see if LaSalle's defense can step up here. Same response that Imhotep's defense did last position.
Fans are reminded that the concession stands are open at the far end of the stadium, near the entrance.
That's Rob Stock getting the job done right there.
What's that, Rob?
Had a request for concessions to be announced, and I don't know if you heard the PA, but we just got an announcement about concessions.
What a play by the LaSalle Explorers. Jalen DeVos looked like got out there and made a play. Actually, I'm sorry, Zaire McLaren got out there and made the play on Tyke Smith, and that is a tough guy to track down. Tyke Smith, a guy that knows how to get to the edge and beat guys. He is absolutely speedy, as speedy as it gets here in Philadelphia. Had a huge year last year and is back in the backfield on 2nd and 13. DePaul quickly gets it out wide. Terry makes the play. Terry turns on the Jets, makes one miss, and gets close to the first down. It'll be short by about 2 yards.
There's quick recognition there too. LaSalle got through. They realized that it was going to be a quick pass, got their arms up, just couldn't catch up to the speedy Terry.
.46 to play, clock ticking here in the second quarter. A 1-point lead for LaSalle. DePaul leading the Imhotep Panthers down the field on their second offensive drive of the game. One of the rare times we'll see him under center here. And loses the football. LaSalle has a chance, and they're on it.
They got it.
LaSalle ball, just waiting for the official signal now.
Looked like junior.
And they got it.
Junior lineman Ryan Savage, I think, was the guy that fell on it. The big body up front that fell on that ball.
And it almost turns prophetic, Rob.
Yep.
DePaul not comfortable under center. They don't do it much and fumbles the snap just like that.
And that's inexperience of being under center. That's inexperience in this offense, and it comes back and bites them. It's a big opportunity. Nice stop for LaSalle. Nice turnover to grab there. Now you got to go ahead and go downfield and convert this into some points.
And it's Ryan Savage, number 52, getting his hands on the football and getting the pigskin back for the Explorers.
I use that momentum.
Liam Tatlungari in the backfield along with Jack Machida. They fake the give, and they give it right back to Tatlungari. North and south he goes, makes two men miss, and runs through a third. Inside the 40-yard line, a first down.
Strong running by Tatlungari. Way to shift around a few tackles, break free, and pick up a almost first down.
Someone really
just short.
They gave it to him. First down, Explorers.
Someone really brought their dancing shoes tonight. Nice little moves there on the play. Ooh, I like it.
Dancing shoes, sure, but also showing the ability to run through a wall.
Oh, absolutely.
Tail end of that run.
A little bit of both.
Dare we say truck stick.
Machida in the shotgun. He'll roll right and quickly get it out to DeVos and trip down. What a play on the outside. Number 2, Tyke Smith, does it on offense and does it on defense for the Imhotep Panthers.
That was an excellent job by Tyke Smith to notice where that ball was going and immediately get on DeVos' shoelaces.
It's really impressive. Again, still early in the game and, of course, early in the season. Impressive to see this LaSalle offense with really a whole new cavalry out there come out and play well.
Bottom of the field completely uncovered, near side.
Now they give it off, and DeVos is hit hard in the backfield. What a play on defense.
No. Nasir Dean, 15.
He got a sack earlier in the game, and Dean came that time and took care of Jalen DeVos in the backfield.
Yeah, since last drive, Imhotep's line is really starting to get into the backfield of LaSalle.
And I think that's something that the offensive coaches on this team could see happening. A new and experienced, I guess inexperienced, but still very talented offensive line. Will there be some wear? And can he get the ball out of Machida's hands quickly? He avoids one, avoids a second, and will not get anywhere. That's a big sack. And Imhotep brought the house, 4th down and long.
And that's all it's been. It's just been pressure, pressure, pressure. It's not like they're coming at him with a 4-man rush or anything like that. They are sending men, so it's just a matter of this inexperienced offensive line being able to recognize it, get their assignments and stick to them. And so far, it hasn't worked too well for them.
And Machida was certainly in trouble there. Maybe an opportunity to get rid of the ball a little bit earlier, but again, when the heat is coming and the bullets are flying, it is tough in your first game out there. Here's Jake Gandolfo. Gandolfo, a nice high end-over-end kick. Fair catch called for and caught at the 16-yard line, and Gandolfo turns around field position for the Explorers. So, Rob, I know this is your job, but maybe an opportunity to ask the folks out there, where are you at? Where are you watching us from? It is that time here, 7:41 in the second quarter. The Explorers a 1-point lead, and I know there's a very active and engaged LaSalle community far and wide that can't be here for one reason or another at Upper Dublin. So give us a shout on Twitter, @BobLongSports. That's @BobLongSports, and tell us, where are you watching tonight from, and we will give you a shout on the air. Thought there was movement there, nothing called. LaSalle, great job to string out the run-off tackle, and it'll be a loss of 1.
It really started out to look like this was going to be an offensive game with 2 straight touchdowns, but defense these last few drives is really shutting them down, turnovers and everything, especially the run.
Very excited on this defensive line to see what Ronnie Ross is going to be able to do this year, as well as Leland Mursky. Two guys that were pointed out to us in the offseason, guys that did play last year and had big roles for this team, whether they can lead on this defensive line. Here's the snap on 2nd and long. DePaul sneaks up the middle. DePaul gets about 2, just past the initial line of scrimmage, and it'll be 3rd down and 9. And you're right, things starting to buckle up a little bit here, Seamus, defensively on both sides.
Yeah, you can tell definitely teams are making adjustments after watching the first drives.
The quarterback keeper brought down by Brendan Fresco.
Just keeping it on the defensive line, a guy that just checked out of the game, but number 69, Isiah Turner, is a sophomore defensive lineman that they have a lot of high hopes for. There's a couple sophomores out there that have the chance to become really good defensive linemen at LaSalle. DePaul throws it over the middle, and the catch is made. Sneaking forward for a 1st down is Tyke Smith.
Nearly sacked, nearly picked, but all around a nice broken play there for Imhotep.
And it was the experience there of DePaul, understanding they were bringing the house off the edge, sneaking right up the middle, and understand that Tyke Smith is going to be there on the dump-off. DePaul now takes off and spins. Nice run for Steve DePaul. Gets just shy of the 1st down.
Another new wrinkle here being introduced by Imhotep for their offense. You hadn't seen DePaul really move around much in the pocket first couple of drives. Now all of a sudden he's realizing LaSalle's bringing the pressure. He's turning it right around and taking the ball upfield himself.
And across the middle, nice play there. A 1st down for Imhotep. And now you see DePaul starting to get it together a little bit here. Not that he was playing poorly by any stretch because he let him down the field, but after that fumble and LaSalle recovery, he's certainly come back and shown that he can move the ball fairly efficiently against this LaSalle defense.
Timeout LaSalle.
LaSalle calls a timeout, and we'll take this opportunity once again to tell our folks about the good people over at Dunphy Ford in the Northeast, a great dealership selling new and used Ford cars, trucks, SUVs, whatever you need. And certainly Kevin Dunphy is the guy that'll take good care of you. Tell him that Bob Long Sports sent you. They've been a big part of our success here related to LaSalle College High School, and we just want to extend our gratitude once again and thank you them for sponsoring us once again this year.
Got our first check-in. Ed O'Brien on Twitter letting us know he's watching from home. Ed, it looks like you might be out there in Pittsburgh. Little Panther 24/7. Little hashtag Pitt Athletics on there. So, all right, former stomping grounds for this color commentator. So out there, not Pitt, but right down the road from you at Duquesne University.
That's what is the name of that basketball game that they play every year?
The City Game.
Okay, I thought it was that simple.
It is that simple. I wish it was that simple for Duquesne. They got their first win in like 20-some years, like a year or two ago. So,
man, Pitt's basketball program really took a hit last year. On and off topic.
Yeah. Sorry, Ed.
Yeah, sorry to bring that up.
That's okay. Listen, man, they have a
tough,
really good opportunity with the new hire. With Kevin Stallings out, I think there's really an opportunity bringing in the former Duke assistant as the head coach. Now another fumbled snap. Ooh. And LaSalle got the football again.
Wow.
This time it's number 30, Brendan Fresco, the senior linebacker, coming up with it. What a play there.
First down on the 37-yard line.
And we realize we're stuck here, so hold on. We're going to work on that for just a second. Apologize there, everybody. We're going to give you the radio play-by-play for the time being. And we'll get this video back up as soon as we can. Apologize again for that.
We got LaSalle coming out of the Wildcat here after the turnover.
And it'll be Sean Daly with the ball. Gets about back to the line of scrimmage on that Wildcat play. And we're back. Apologize once again. And we were having a little bit of a technical issue before the game, and it stemmed from the heat. Again, we're here in the middle of August, right? It stemmed a little bit from the heat in terms of the computer overheating and perhaps having that same type of issue.
I don't think the equipment's realizing it's football season yet.
Yes, indeed. But we're back here with 4:48 to play. LaSalle still a 7-6 lead. And how about this to the outside? Number 2 for the Explorers, Brad Vespi. Out across the middle.
Little Vespi. Speed demon, man. It's always good to see him get in the game.
Really solid player. Got some snaps last year, but we were told coming into this year he's going to have a big role on this team.
Opportunity with the legs that he's got. He's quick. He's a quick guy. Really makes some men miss, so it'll be interesting to see how they work him in. Now they got him out in the slot.
Wildcat formation, Sean Daly in the shotgun. They'll fake the give, and he'll take it to the other side, cutting up the middle to the 35 and across to the 33-yard line. More than enough for a first down.
Looking like a little RPO there, and maybe not necessarily a P in there, maybe just a run option for Daly, looking for the hole, whether he's going to give it off or take it himself. Decided to keep it, and nice cut, pick up a first down.
They're going to stay right here in the Wildcat. First down and 10, driving inside Panther territory. They give it to DeVos, nearly mishandled the football, now turns off tackle, a gain of 3 inside the 30-yard line.
While we got a quick break in the action, Miss Kathy Winning checking in from Avalon, New Jersey.
It's a good time to be on the shore.
Beautiful weather down there.
Thanks for watching. Now a timeout called by Imhotep. 3:33 to play here in the second quarter. And perhaps some tired legs as LaSalle starts to move it down the field. A ground-heavy attack here on this particular drive as they look to wear down the defensive line that really has had unbridled attack in the last offensive drive for LaSalle. So I think trying to keep them honest with some running right back up the middle so that they're not pinning their ears back.
Yeah, needed to do something to switch it up a little bit. You know, Imhotep was coming at them, sending the pressure, getting through that offensive line and getting pressure on Machida. So needed to switch things up, kind of use that, you know, Imhotep pressure against them. Get some quick legs in there, get the ball moving to the outside, and make some progress here on offense. It's been a couple drives, it's stalling a little bit. So nice to see them finally sort of get things moving in the right direction.
Second down and 6, really can do anything here. Anything inside that first down marker isn't going to be in field goal range, so they got 3 downs to work with. Machida throws it off to Luke Hardy. Hardy runs forward. He gets about 2 yards. It'll be 3rd and 4.
Brought down by Scott Thomas.
Didn't really get the commit from the outside corner that I think they wanted by dragging Sean Daly across to the other side.
Yeah, and that side of the line was kind of, you know, the receivers were, there wasn't much help there. It was kind of leaving it up to Daly to make some men miss, and didn't really have the blocking help and just a bunch of white jerseys around him.
Imhotep lines up in the 4-3. Tight coverage on the near side here. No safety up over the top. So they're going to go right to him. And just over the outstretched arm of 6'6" Khalil Diarra.
You could see the entire sideline. All the coaches were pointing in that near side matchup, urging Machida to look that way. He did. Just a little overthrown.
But that's okay. You have a junior quarterback that's coming in his first action. You know, that touch will come. But it's about what we were talking about pre-snap to see tight coverage on the line. The safety's on the other side. There's a single safety out there. There's a mismatch there. And you like that your junior quarterback just saw it and delivered on it.
Exactly. Same deal.
4th down. Machida takes off. Machida throws it, and he has to throw it away. Turnover on downs, and Imhotep gets the defensive stand that they needed with 2:39 to play here in the second quarter.
And I know you kind of want to, as a quarterback in your mind, maybe you want to get everyone involved, but I would have looked right back at the bottom of the, you know, to your left if you're Machida. Recognize that you had that matchup. It was there again. Just got forced out to his right, maybe. didn't have the opportunity to look at it, and turnover on downs.
I think he had maybe a little bit more time in the pocket than he thought. No, it hadn't really collapsed around him yet, and by moving to the outside, he ran right to where the outside defensive end was going.
Yeah, that's really a mismatch I'd like to see LaSalle kind of explore more into this game with 83.
I think you're exactly right. I think they will. So now the first opportunity for Sutton Christian to come out there and take some snaps. A good touch pass on the outside and a gain of 7.
I guess Imhotep had enough of the under center fumbles. We'll switch it up at quarterback here a little bit.
And of course this is just the first 2 quarters of the season, but I am interested to follow this Imhotep team here in to see what this quarterback situation looks like the rest of the way. A good run up the middle, more than enough for a first down, a gain of 11 yards for number 6, Kadarius Sampson.
That was just a nice job by Imhotep opening up the defensive line and kind of had this Red Sea parted there for the running back, and nice gain.
Up tempo here for Sutton Christian. Sutton Christian runs out of time. Wrapping up for the Explorers. Number 52, Ryan Savage.
That's what you like to see from LaSalle's defense there, getting the pressure on the QB.
And Savage, he's adding a sack to his fumble recovery, so already a good start to the year on the stat sheet for him.
Ryan Savage and Isiah Turner on the sack.
1:26 to play. Clock ticks here in the second quarter.
Loss of 5 yards.
2nd and 15 for Jalen Sutton Christian in his first offensive drive here. And actually, it'll be number 2, Tyke Smith, trying to get to the outside. Has a lane and runs over Frank Joyce on his way to the midfield stripe. It'll be 3rd down and 5. And a timeout called by Imhotep.
Knocked out of bounds by Frank Joyce.
So 1:05 to play, 3rd down and 5. And if the first 2 quarters is any indication, I think Imhotep has 2 downs to go about this and try to convert for a first. Seamus, what do you think here? The change up from Steve DePaul to Jalen Sutton Christian in this drive.
It's an interesting switch to me. I mean, they've got the quarterback depth, and you're wondering why they're going back and forth. Sometimes it makes you kind of think if they're going to keep switching it up just to kind of keep LaSalle on their toes and see if it works in their favor. I mean, so far it's a low-scoring game, so LaSalle's been right on it.
We got a alumni, if I remember correctly, mom watching here, Bob. We got Stephanie Roten down in Orlando, Florida, checking in.
Nearly
Bob Long
lost
Sports.
the football there on 3rd down, and LaSalle able to wrap up. Decision time here for Imhotep. But yes, Stephanie's been a big follower of ours, always interacting with us with a like or a retweet or whatever it might be. So we appreciate her watching from, we'll say a slightly
Orlando.
warmer place than us
right?
right now. So another timeout called on the field. 52.6 seconds to play. It'll be 4th down and 6. Decision time here for Imhotep. I'll ask the Riverboat Rob, that personality, the alter ego, returns again for 2018. What say you?
You don't have to ask. You know where I'm going. This is first of all a team that doesn't trust their kicking game.
Well, you're not going to kick a field goal.
No, you're not going to kick a field goal. But also at the same time, though, you're probably not going to punt either. So if you don't trust your guy to kick a field goal from the 2-yard line, you're probably not going to trust him to get the ball deep on a punt and pin this offense for the Explorers back. So 4th and 6, 4th and 5 around midfield, going for it.
Yeah, and if you're LaSalle here in this situation, I think they're going more for the first down, especially with the time remaining. I think they're going to try and throw it downfield.
So you're saying on the LaSalle defensive side, are you saying commit a safety deep because you think they're going to air it out, or are you saying you think that they're looking for a 10-yard or so pass?
I think they're going to maybe go at least 10, probably more, so I'd play back. Oh, no.
And it's going to be close. It is really close to the first down. It might have been just a half-yard short. LaSalle, they think they got him to turn the ball over, and it appears that way. Another turnover on downs for Imhotep, and it's LaSalle football.
I know it's early, but it kind of feels like that with this defense right now. I know they haven't really been pushed to the limit as far as goal line's concerned, but that bend don't break kind of mentality that we've talked about for years with this team feels very apparent. You know, they're giving up big chunk plays here and there, but when the time comes and they need to step up, they're doing it.
So now the question is, what do you trust your offense to do here? You went right down the field and scored on your first drive. Do you take a shot? I think you do. No timeouts left for Imhotep, one for you. You can certainly take a shot or two and then kneel the football if you decide you want to. Quick pass to the outside, and he gets out of bounds, but the referee is going to wave that one on, so clock continues to run. Under 35 seconds to play now.
I'm taking that timeout.
Boy, so tough to see from our side, but if you're Luke Hardy, I mean, you're a senior, you got to get out of bounds there. Plain and simple.
Looked like he made an effort to. I guess I don't know how close he was to the sideline or not. Like you said, Bob, hard to tell from over here, but
well, he made an effort after cutting inside to beat one defender, which is fine, but then you don't know that you're ever going to get back out there.
Yeah, on that play and then this situation, you got to get the ball and go out right away. He had good gain, that just hesitated.
So now no timeouts left for the Explorers. Certainly time to work with. Just like the college rules, in high school if you get a first down, the clock will stop as they reset the chain. So that 32 seconds isn't like the 32 seconds that you'd see in the NFL. There's absolutely time to work, get back up to the line, snap the football, and spike it if you don't have a play ready after a first down.
To really want to see, we still haven't seen it yet, an opportunity for Machida to take that big shot downfield.
They have a receiver out wide on the near side. That's Sean Daly. One safety over the top. They're bringing pressure. An extra man, and Machida can't find his man. Wide open across the middle was Zaire McLaren.
Would have been quite the circus catch for McLaren going up one-handed.
Jack Machida's passing complete, intended for Zaire McLaren.
That's interesting there, though. If you continue to see that pressure and you release Zaire McLaren there to the outside, I think you're going to get that look more often than not as long as Imhotep continues to stack the box and bring extra men. Here comes McLaren in motion. They give it off to Zaire McLaren. He heads to the outside and is going to have to head upfield. Gets out of bounds and a late hit, and there comes the flag.
Wow.
Boy, that is huge and a big-time mental mistake from the Panthers of Imhotep.
That is an enormous penalty to take right there. 20 seconds left in the half.
Third and 4.
Yeah, I mean, he was nowhere near picking up a first down, and all of a sudden you give him 15 yards and a fresh set, and you're that much closer to maybe reachable territory for Machida with a deep pass, something, you know. Didn't need it. Didn't need to happen. Simply put.
At least puts them in an opportunity to get into field goal range here.
Agreed. Ball will be at the 32-yard line. I would think with the leg that we saw from Gandolfo, if you get him another 10 to 12 yards, very realistic shot to hit a field goal from 38 or 39 yards. As it is, the ball is spotted at the 32. The idea being, need that first down marker to stop the clock if you're going to be in bounds. 21 seconds to play. Here's the shotgun snap. Machida steps up well in the pocket's got to get rid of it and doesn't. And that's going to run out the clock. It's down to 12. LaSalle might try to get one spike of the football. We're down to 6. Down to 3. And they snap the football, and there's another flag. That might put the Explorers into field goal range with 2.6 seconds to play.
Wow. There's no word. I don't have words.
Number 4, Symir Williams, just timed that up and teed up the offensive lineman for LaSalle.
I mean, if you're Imhotep's coach, I mean, you're just left scratching your head thinking, what are we doing?
So I think you send Gandolfo out there right now, which it looks like LaSalle has done. 2 personal foul penalties against Imhotep has been the chunk of yardage that's led LaSalle to this opportunity.
crazy.
Here's Gandolfo. This will be a 38-yarder for Gandolfo. Snap is down. The kick, a liner, goes well wide. Hooked it pretty hard, and that's the end of the first half. So we saw 2 touchdowns on the opening 2 drives of the game, and that has been it. LaSalle 7, Imhotep 6. After 2 quarters of play to start the 2018 season. Rob, what did you see here in the first half?
Some good, some bad. It's early on in the season, so obviously there's some rust that's being worked off. Some kinks in this offense. It's a young offense, an inexperienced offense. But that said, they showed, size up front, that they're able to create holes for their runners. Machida, maybe not the most poised in the pocket, but, this is game 1 as a starter. I like seeing him make adjustments like he did, finding his big tight end name is slipping my mind right now, Bob, but
Khalil
Diarra, recognizing that matchup and going to it. So, it'll be interesting to see how he handles this first halftime situation, what the coaches do with him, how he comes out in the second half. But, game 1, you got to feel okay.
We'll take a break here and come back on the other side. This is LaSalle College High School football. It's live here on Bob Long Sports. We certainly appreciate everybody being with us this evening. And we will be back on the other side to talk a little bit more LaSalle football here on BLS.
I would say that LaSalle is dynamic. Prepared. Active. Diverse. Brotherhood. Family.
Ford is Mayfair's neighborhood Ford store.
Nobody knows your neighborhood like Dunphy Ford.
Nearly 40 years.
Right here on Frankfurt Avenue, generation after generation. Our neighbors continue to be our customers. We have access to the cars and trucks you want with financing you need.
Dunphy Ford is Northeast Philly's first choice for America's #1 brand. 7700 Frankfurt Avenue in Mayfair. Online at www.dumpyford.com.
Come experience the Dumpy difference. You'll be glad you did.
What does your character look like? Does it bounce back after each setback? Does it stand out by standing up? Does it make good on good intentions? Character is invisible until it's not. Only through action will the world know what it's made of, what you're made of. Find out how you can strengthen the character of your community alongside empowered veterans and families of the fallen at travismanion.org.
I would say that LaSalle is dynamic. Prepared. Active. Diverse. Brotherhood. Family.
Ford is Mayfair's neighborhood Ford store.
Nobody knows your neighborhood like Dunphy Ford.
Nearly 40 years.
Right here on Frankfurt Avenue. Generation after generation. Our neighbors continue to be our customers. We have access to the cars and trucks you want with financing you need.
Dumpy Ford is Northeast Philly's first choice for America's #1 brand. 7700 Frankfurt Avenue in Mayfair. Online at www.dumpyford.com.
Come experience the Dumpy difference. You'll be glad you did.
What does your character look like? Does it bounce back after each setback? Does it stand out by standing up? Does it make good on good intentions? Character is invisible until it's not. Only through action will the world know what it's made of, what you're made of. Find out how you can strengthen the character of your community alongside empowered veterans and families of the fallen at travismanion.org.
I would say that LaSalle is dynamic. Prepared. Active. Diverse. Brotherhood. Family.
Ford is Mayfair's neighborhood Ford store.
Nobody knows your neighborhood like Dunphy Ford.
Nearly 40 years.
Right here on Frankfurt Avenue. Generation after generation. Our neighbors continue to be our customers. We have access to the cars and trucks you want with financing you need.
Dumpy Ford is Northeast Philly's first choice for America's #1 brand. 7700 Frankfurt Avenue in Mayfair. Online at www.dumpyford.com.
Come experience the Dumpy difference. You'll be glad you did.
What does your...
Welcome back, everybody. We are just a few minutes away from the beginning of the second half. Neither team is yet to break out of the locker room quite yet, but we have quite an interesting game here. 7-6 LaSalle, and we had a game where it looked like it had the chance to be an offensive shootout early, and then the defenses just stood up utterly and completely. And I wonder what this second half has in store for us.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. I mean, both teams came out first drives of the year and basically marched the ball downfield. LaSalle very methodical in their first drive, led by first-year starter Jack Machida. Looked great on offense, getting the ball rolling, and then same with Imhotep. Coming out and had a beautiful pass, nice big gain, touchdown score for themselves, and then it was really a defensive struggle after that. A couple of turnovers for Imhotep. LaSalle just unable to really get any momentum on the offensive side of the ball, and things kind of slowed down. So it feels like it has a little bit of that preseason feel to it. I know we're still a week or so away from the start of the school year, so these kids haven't been in class yet. This is the regular season, though, and it's just a matter of taking some time and getting the rust worn off. We've got our own rust to wear off that we talked about, Bob, but the football players are doing it as well. And so it's kind of the early season jitters, I think, is what we can kind of chalk this one up to so far.
And let's see if we can bring you inside our broadcast booth here. Bob Long, Seamus Morgan, and Rob Stott. Certainly appreciate everybody being with us here today, and a great evening for football. Seamus, it's one of those nights where it started out 85 degrees hot, thought it was going to be one of those steamers. Now you float into the mid-70s. Those guys are certainly hot down there, but a good night for football and really a great way to start off the 2018 campaign. I know there were a lot of questions to this LaSalle team, but I think they've responded in a pretty good way to essentially 11 new contributors on the offensive side of the ball.
Oh, most definitely. I mean, like we were talking about before the game, a lot of unanswered questions. And still, we're only one half into the season, but so far, pretty good. I mean, they're going up against a state runner-up team. I mean, so they're playing good competition. The defense is really impressive, holding a fast team, it looks like, to 6 points. I've been very impressed with that, and hopefully they can continue to keep that momentum going into the second half. Offense looked good in the first drive. And, they've been taking opportunities, and I think still you see the size mismatch with our receivers and their secondary, and I hope LaSalle can start to explore that more in the second half.
Rob?
You're waiting on me, aren't you?
Yeah. Waiting on me.
I thought you were up next.
Your time is now.
My time is now. So, yeah, I mean, I saw some good stuff from Machida. That's what I keep going back to. These guys, they need time in this system. They need live game action. He had a little bit of that last year, but this is really a first chance for him to be a starter and have the spotlight be on him and really carry this team. So I think he'll grow into the role. He's a junior, so in theory, a young quarterback for high school football. Got a lot of learning to do, and to have a first game of your career as a starter be against a team like Imhotep, that's a big challenge to come in and face, and he's handling it well. He looks like a young quarterback, but he's not doing anything that you would consider, I guess, disastrous for someone that doesn't have as much experience as he does. But it'll be interesting to see sort of how he grows as the year progresses and kind of where he's able to take this team.
The only thing with Machida so far is I think he's holding onto the ball a little bit too long at times. maybe trying to flee the pocket at times when the protection hasn't been terrible. But that's going to come because Imhotep, especially in the second quarter, decided we're going to pin our ears back and we're going to bring more guys than you have on the line, more guys that you can block, and see how your essentially first-year quarterback deals with it. I think he's done adequately, and there's certainly room for growth. The other thing is we talk about how inexperienced and how young this team is, and not only are we talking about the guys that have graduated, Manny Keelis, sidelined with an injury. Brett Malley, not going to be able to play this year, sidelined with an injury. This and those guys were supposed to be the leadership of this team. Now you're turning to Luke Hardy, and you saw him go up and make a couple great catches in the first half. You're seeing Khalil Diarra provide that weaponry on the outside. And you're seeing Sean Daly with the ability to be a wideout, to be a wild cat, and certainly he could take it out of the backfield if needed, taking jet sweeps, etc. So I think you have a lot of strong players and playmakers offensively that are just going to grow more into their role. It's just tough to grow when you go into your first game playing against the 4A state runner-up, and then in the next game you'll go to play North Penn, one of the great teams in all of the state of Pennsylvania year over year. But that's the LaSalle way. They challenge themselves out of conference. If there was a year to maybe go outside the PCL and schedule games that aren't of the caliber of the St. Joe's Preps and the Archbishop Woods of the world, maybe it would be this year with 11 guys new on the offense. But this might be their toughest out-of-league schedule in some time with Imhotep, North Penn, and then a rejuvenated Malvern Prep team that looks to run away with the Interact this year. Several high-quality D1 recruits that will make differences at the next level. And those are 3 of the 4 non-league, 4 or 5 non-league games that they're going to play.
Yeah, I mean, it's baptism by fire. There's no other way to look at it. It's like you said, the LaSalle way. I don't want an easy road. I don't want to see these guys sort of cakewalk their way through some schedule and then build up confidence only to have it shattered in the PCL. If you want to see where you stand and where you stack up in this sport, in this league, in this state, go out and play the best. And that's what LaSalle does year after year. No matter who they throw under center, no matter who they have on the outside, or who they have lining up in the secondary for them. So this is the way they've operated, and they'll continue to operate. And it's a credit to the coaching staff to put their guys in this position where they have to face tough competition, stiff competition in the state of Pennsylvania. And I'd have it no other way.
One quick college note here, guys. Lots of rule changes in the past few years across the college game, an effort to speed up the game, an effort to reduce head-on collisions, especially in the kickoff. Well, they went and addressed both of those, or tried to, this offseason. The one that's really interesting to me is that if there is a kickoff, the player on the receiving team now has the option, if they catch it anywhere from the 20-yard line to the 1-yard line, to fair catch the football, and have the ball placed at the 25. And the reason for that was because teams, in the spirit of, hey, we changed it where you take touchbacks to the 25 instead of the 20, they said, well, we don't want to just boot it into the end zone. We're going to pooch kick it higher and short of the end zone so that we give our guys more time to come down there and put players in a position where they can't get out to the 20, which creates more head-on collisions, which is not what college football wanted. So now they take it to the next step and they say, well, you know what? You want to do that? You can fair catch it at the 5-yard line and take it to the 25. They're trying to bring more of that into the college game.
Yeah, it's interesting, and I mean, I could see why it sort of sounds like it's a hot-button issue, the fact that Rules Committee goes and does something like that. But, maybe I take the unpopular stance where I'm for it, because at the end of the day, it's about player safety, because you don't want to see situations where guys are stretchered off of the field because teams are trying to get a little advantage because they're pooch kicking the ball to save 5, 7, 10 yards on a kickoff. So it'll be interesting to see how players adjust to it, whether that's something. It's not real natural for a player, I think, to want to call fair catch on a kickoff necessarily. That's a punt situation that you typically do something like that. So I'm sure they're kind of coaching their guys up. College coaches throughout the ranks in the country are doing that this preseason. So I'm for it personally.
I can see both sides of the argument. To be honest, I'm in the middle.
Literally
yes,
and figuratively, you know.
Literally and figuratively. I'm taking my stance right here. And I can't give you an answer. I'm going to have to think this over. But
we'll ask you in between the third and fourth quarter.
There you go. I see the player safety side, but I like the kickoff returns and everything. You know, I think it's taken away a little bit of that. But
the last quick note on the college game, this is more administrative and time management, is that now after touchdowns, immediately the 40-second shot, the play clock starts.
Interesting.
So celebrations, cutting down on that, making sure that your place kicker knows where his helmet is, etc. Instead of getting the 1-minute break in between the touchdown and the beginning of the 40-second play clock to kick an extra point, it comes right away.
I thought NFL was no fun league. So what, college football, you can't. I don't know. Got to make some no fun acronym out of that.
You know what is no fun? 3-hour and 45-minute football games. So they're just
that is fair. Touché.
Well, that's all we got here for the halftime show. We're gonna bring it back to the field right now and get ready for the beginning of the second half. 7-6 your score. LaSalle with a 1-point lead. Both teams went right down the field to start the game. LaSalle scored on the first drive of the game. Jake Gandolfo hit the extra point and put them up 7-0. Imhotep comes right back down the field, decided they want to go for 2. They missed that after a holding penalty pushed them back 10 yards. LaSalle will kick it deep here to begin the second half. Jake Gandolfo, number 38, will tow it deep. And back to receive Yusuf Terry. He had a touchdown in the first half. Really a spectacular player that can electrify a game. And we are underway. A high booming kick caught by Terry. Terry up to the 20. And taken down there, a great play. And then he spiked the ball right into number 31 for LaSalle. Jalen Henton, one of the Explorers, didn't take too kindly to that. Took one more shove at Terry before heading off the field. And that is how we start the second half. Bob Long, Seamus Morgan, Rob Stott here. Your broadcast team this evening for LaSalle versus Imhotep, live from Upper Dublin High School. And all this brought to you by our friends at Dunphy Ford in the Northeast.
Looks like we might have a little bit of a gritty second half in this game.
If that's any indication, I'm with you, Seamus. So they go right back to Jalen Sutton Christian. I think they missed some motion there. Flag comes down. Christian makes the first miss and dances out of bounds after a gain of 6. The laundry on the field.
Flag on the play.
Could be an illegal shift. We'll see. And that is the call. It was an illegal shift on the wide receiver coming in motion. So it'll back Sutton Christian and the Panthers of Imhotep Charter up 5 yards.
Not how you want to come out on your first play of the second half. Already drawing some yellow flags on the field.
We mentioned the quarterback discussion, the debate amongst the internal ranks of Imhotep, and they started with Steve DePaul. Now this is Christian handing it off up the middle. And number 4 is out for a big gash. Symir Williams out near midfield, and a flag comes in late.
That fooled me. I was looking in the backfield at Sutton Christian, waiting for him to still hand off the ball. Next thing you know, number 4 is right up the middle. Williams gashing this Explorers defense for a big gain.
Penalty call. Expect a personal foul on LaSalle here, which should give an even bigger chunk of yardage to Imhotep. And that is the call. 15-yard penalty walked off from just inside Imhotep's own 50-yard line will bring him deep into LaSalle territory.
Personal foul at the end of the play.
Turns a big run into even bigger play, tack on that extra 15 yards, and now you're talking pretty deep inside LaSalle to a 40-yard line. So flipping the field basically in one play.
Going with the pistol. Play action, a quick throw of the middle to Williams. Williams runs through one tackle and inside the 20-yard line, dragging Frank Joyce 5 yards in the process.
And a nice job there by Sutton Christian, rolling out, finding his man wide open. Williams, another big gain. Those two are connecting now 2 plays in a row.
Up tempo they go. And now they're going to pull it back. It looked like they wanted to go right up to the line. And in limited action, they've been successful in the hurry-up offense. But right now, we have a wildcat. It's Tyke Smith. He takes the snap and goes behind a cavalcade of blockers to the 10 to the 5. Touchdown, Imhotep. Tyke Smith, a direct snap, and runs off tackle into the end zone.
Imhotep opens up the second half in a good way. Offense was slow in the first. I mean, everyone's was, but, man, they went down the field quick. Something LaSalle's going to have to deal with and adjust.
Yeah, this Explorers defense just looked completely out of sorts there to start the second half. Just big play after big play by Imhotep, and just driving that ball right into the end zone. 3 plays?
Oh, I think it was 4. I think it was 4, but
yeah. Either way, very, very quick drive to open the second half.
12-7 now the score. They're going to go for 2. Jalen Sutton Christian back under center. Here's the give. Up the middle to Williams. Williams runs through to the goal line. He got it. 14-7 on the 2-point conversion. And Imhotep back in control here, up by 7 with 10:55 to play in the third.
Making up that missed attempt the first time around.
You can tell they really do not have a lot of trust in their kicking team with the 2-point conversion going for.
So now LaSalle, they have an opportunity to respond. And we'll see if they get any more looks, really, to different guys than what we've seen. Khalil Diarra really yet to get on the board in a big way, had 1 reception in the first half. Brad Vespi only had 1 carry, and that was able to slither through for 6 or 7 yards. I wonder if they mix things up here offensively in a way to kind of counteract the aggressiveness that the front 4 of Imhotep has shown since that 3rd or 4th LaSalle offensive drive of the game. They've turned up the heat. They've added more pressure, and LaSalle hasn't adequately dealt with it offensively yet.
And now they have the pressure of the scoreboard staring them square in the face, too. First time trailing in this game. They've been able to play with a lead to this point, so we'll see how LaSalle's offense responds when playing from behind now for the first time this season.
Also, you talk about Imhotep not trusting their kicking game. I think what we're about to see, a little good old toe boot here, might be part of the reason they don't trust this kicking game.
I think maybe a little squib kick up the middle.
Whether it's intended or not.
Oh.
That one was launched.
That was actually...
Now here comes Brad Vespi. Vespi up the middle. Vespi makes 1 miss, and he's got a lot of room to the 35 and runs over a man out to the 40. The little guy gets things started at 5'4" for the Explorers.
Vespi wasn't quite ready for how deep that kick was going to go when, had to back up a little bit, fumbled around with the ball down near his own goal line, and then just picks the ball up and kind of a la Deshaun Jackson, that New York Giants punt, kind of making some men miss. Didn't get it to the end zone necessarily, but, putting the shoulder down, driving through a guy, and putting LaSalle in a much better position than they could have been to start this drive.
Rob, it's a really interesting and good point there with the Deshaun Jackson reference because a lot of times there, if you fumble the ball, everybody attacks the ball. So if you can make 1 miss, then all of a sudden guys are out of their lanes and out of their zones, and it can allow for a big run like that. Sean Daly, the receiver, split out wide. And it'll be a delay of game as the flag comes from the umpire standing in the secondary.
Well, if we're talking about symmetry, Imhotep starts their first drive of the second half with a 5-yard penalty. Now LaSalle starts their first drive of the second half with a 5-yard penalty.
That's when they're
four plays. So if I was a betting man, which we know, I'd say 4 plays and a touchdown for LaSalle.
All right.
Okay. And then a 2-point conversion to retake the lead?
We'll see.
Here's the give. A lot of blocking out there for DeVos. And they got away with perhaps a hold as DeVos runs over past the 35, or should say past the 50-yard line up near the 45.
DeVos getting up a little excited about that one, stepping over his defender.
Pulling a little bit of a Allen Iverson move there after the 3-point shot.
Might have been unfair because that defender still now just got up number 20 for Imhotep. Scott Thomas.
Boy, it looked scary there the way Thomas was writhing in pain, almost like it looked as if he couldn't move the leg, and now he's going to go back down. But I think fortunate that you saw him already able to put at least a little bit of weight on that. On the LaSalle side, back to that run, I mean, that was a really good run by DeVos. I also think that Daly got away with a little bit of a hold on the side there.
And even if you didn't think it was there, you didn't notice anything at first, the fact that he throws his hands up the way he did, he's like, no, I didn't do it. I didn't do it. That typically means you did it.
Good to see Scott Thomas up and walking on the other side. First down and 10 for the Explorers. They are into Panther territory at their 48. Machida and co. looking to answer. 10:30 to play here in the third. The Explorers trailing by 7. The first time they've had the football on offense while trailing. DeVos tripped and got back to the line of scrimmage.
Check those cleats. Just slipped on some grass, it looked like.
And actually looks to be a tiny bit gimpy, guys, going back to the line.
Yeah. I'm going to take him out right now.
And in comes number 2, Brad Vespi. I do think there's a way to get this guy involved. And I think we're going to see more and more of it as the season goes on. He's standing at 5'4", a $150 soaking wet. But he can make guys miss and has great athleticism. Here is the give to Brad Vespi. Vespi goes right up the middle and gets about 1. It'll be 3rd and 9 upcoming.
You know, Rob, you were saying as a betting man, this is play number 4 on the drive, so I guess we can be hopefully expecting a touchdown here.
47-yard strike right now from Machida. Bank on it.
Machida gets the call from Joe Wade on the sideline.
Joe Wade called a streak down the left-hand side, right? Maybe
is that
not.
what you
There's
heard?
not even a wide receiver lined up to the left.
Could be on the far side. Luke Hardy's out there. Drop, snap, and Vespi does a smart thing, just lands on the football, avoids further damage. And LaSalle's going to be forced to punt, but at the very least can get it away after that miscue. It could have been worse.
And that is why the wife doesn't let me gamble in Atlantic City when we go down there. I lose. I'm a losing man.
I like the confidence, though. I think she should give you another chance.
That's not the encouragement that she wants you to give. They get it off just barely. Boy, did they come for that one. Could take a good LaSalle hop, and it does. It'll go inside the 25 and be downed right at the 25-yard line. So LaSalle gets rid of it. Could have been a lot worse. A bad snap. Vespi does a smart thing and lands on it and allows the defense to live another day.
Big task for this defense now. Came out of the second half, did not look so hot on that last drive. Got an opportunity to put that behind them and get a big stop here. Need a stop. Gave up the score to open the game. Gave up the score to open the second half. Now let's buckle down and hold this Imhotep offense.
It's Steve DePaul back out there. Quarterback by committee here for Imhotep. DePaul steps back. DePaul runs out of time, and DePaul is sacked. What a play by number 11, Zaire McLaren.
Steve DePaul sacked on the play by number 11, Zaire
And Explorers doing just what I asked, stepping up, breaking through that offensive line and getting to DePaul and putting some pressure on, getting to the quarterback, and a nice sack to open this second drive for Imhotep.
It's a loss of 6. Second down and 16, under 8 to play here in the third quarter. DePaul in the shotgun, 3 receivers to the near side. 4 on the line for the Explorers. They bring the pressure, and here's a screen play. Tyke Smith. Smith to the outside and steps out of bounds. Gain of 3 or 4. LaSalle, all things considered, for the pressure they brought, did pretty well. And I think number 54, Ryan Savage, was the key there. He did not go all out like the other 3. He stayed out there at the DN position and stayed very patient, waiting for Tyke Smith to come to him.
Recognized screen. Imhotep, they seem to. That's a pretty solid strategy for them. They've been recognizing when LaSalle's going to bring pressure. A lot of screens out of this team, and it's worked for them for the most part tonight, but not there.
Here comes Jennings on the outside. DePaul running out of room. DePaul fires one down the field, and it's incomplete.
Ooh. And a helmet down on the field back at the 15. Number 59 coming back to grab it.
That's Declan Smith.
But, DePaul there, nice job avoiding pressure and getting that ball downfield. I mean, he took a shot and just missed his man by a step or two. It could have been big trouble for the Explorers.
Now, if you're LaSalle here, you see how far Luke Hardy's coming up. They do not respect the kicking abilities of Imhotep, and I think there might be somewhat of a scouting report here. Now, do they come after this as a result?
Yeah, I think you kind of have to, but also, yeah, the other thing I think about here is the poor snapping. Well, maybe not. I was going to say poor snapping abilities.
It's a low kick, decent. It takes a hop, and Daly has it. Daly takes it to the outside, has some blocking, and gets out of bounds at the 41-yard line of Imhotep, the best starting field position of the night for the LaSalle Explorers.
Yeah, nice little return there. Great field position, like you were saying, Bob, to start, and this is where LaSalle needs to step up and get a touchdown.
And that's one right there where, after a big hop like that, sometimes your first instinct is to back away, and Seamus, that's not always the worst instinct in the world. But by Daly snatching that one and taking it upfield about 10 yards, probably netted about 20 to 25 yards had he not touched that ball the way he did and taken it forward. LaSalle would be looking at a lot different field position.
Definitely a great move by him to take the ball and run with it.
Here's Vespi to the outside, and what a rush off the edge. Tyke Smith hammers him in the backfield.
And that collision was so hard, looks like it took out a Imhotep player. Both of them look a little both of them look shaken up. At least one got the worst of that hit.
Yeah, LaSalle's going to take a walk off the field. The trainer's going to come out, and we are going to take a break with him. The score is 14-7, and we'll be back here on BLS.
Character look like? Does it bounce back after each setback? Does it stand out by standing up? Does it make good on good intentions? Character is invisible until it's not. Only through action will the world know what it's made of, what you're made of. Find out how you can strengthen the character of your community alongside empowered veterans and families of the fallen at travismanion.org.
I would say that LaSalle is dynamic. Prepared. Active. Diverse. Brotherly. Family.
Welcome back here. 14-7, 6:41 to play. The clock ticks. Second down and long for the Explorers. And an offside. The hard count from the junior Machida.
Veteran move right there.
Encroachment. Imhotep Charter, 5-yard penalty.
And that's big Lamar Johnson. He's been active all night long at the nose tackle spot, but that time just a touch too aggressive. Here's Machida in the shotgun, 2 running backs, 1 on each side. Machida has good protection, throws over the top. Nice play by Khalil Diarra. The throw-in catch from junior to senior gives LaSalle the first down.
And there's the connection we've been waiting for.
He found the big man. I've been waiting for it all night. I hope to see it more.
It's a
Let's
beautiful
talk about
throw.
this. I mean, Diarra did not play football for LaSalle last year. Came in pretty much just in time for the basketball season. That's a really solid out route from a guy that's new to this system.
New to this system, new to this team, this school. It's incredible to see kind of the quick growth that he's displayed.
6:10 to play.
Natural athletic ability out of that man.
Machida drops it down and misplayed. Couldn't come up with it. That was a good read that time from Machida, just bobbled there by Luke Hardy.
I mean, you look at Tiara, and the first thing that comes to mind is a Rob Gronkowski kind of build to him. I mean, he's a big man based on, looking at how he stacks up size-wise against the other players on the field, and athletic ability-wise is there as well, so it could really develop. I mean, you talk about some of the famous LaSalle connections we've seen over the last few years. That could be one Machida Diarra that you start to hear about week in, week out.
Low snap, good job to go down and get it. DeVos muscles forward for 2 yards. It'll be 3rd and long. They'll actually tee it up as 3rd and 9, so a gain of 1 there for DeVos. Now, Rob, I think you remember, and I've been impressed by DeVos this year coming on as a junior. I think you remember that Jason Bempa, who's now off to college, and we wish him the best, one of our...
Do you know where he ended up?
Duquesne.
Duquesne University. My man, Mr. Bempa.
He'll be...
Didn't even let me know.
He'll be frequenting the A.J. Palumbo Arena on campus at Duquesne.
And PPG Paints Arena every once in a while.
Machida, low snap, throws it up. Going up and getting it. Did he come down? They say no. Out of bounds. So 4th down and 9. Certainly still time to go for it here at the 29-yard line of Imhotep. Out of field goal range, it would be a 46-yard field goal. So they'll keep the offense on the field. But what I was saying about Jason is, one, he did a tremendous job for us for 2 years coming in and doing broadcasts. But 2, he had really high expectations and saw a lot of things in Jalen DeVos as a runner, even when he was starring at the JV level. And I think he was right about that.
He's on to something.
Here's the 4th down snap. Thrown over the middle, incomplete. Luke Hardy couldn't come up with it. Nice defense there by Javon McIntyre.
Bob says nice defense. Rob says he looked like he was all over the back of him coming across the middle. It was bang-bang, so bang-bang. Typically, you get the benefit of the doubt at the high school level, I guess. But
yeah, I did think that was good defense. Yep. Could have gone either way. I think that would have been a generous call.
Maybe a little homerism.
You know. I don't believe it. First down and 10. Here's the give. In the backfield, Ronnie Ross. First contact made by Ronnie Ross. Cleaned up there by number 30, Brendan Frusco.
Ronnie Ross. Big body in the middle there for LaSalle's defense. And we'll pause there.
Zaire McLaren is down on the play, as is number 52, Ryan Savage. Those are 2 guys that have been all over the field tonight. And Savage looks like cramps. McLaren on the other side of the field, tougher to say.
Could be same for both. Looks like both are trying to get stretched out right now. This, again, another situation, early game, still summer.
Yep.
Warm weather. These things are going to happen.
This portion of today's game brought to you by our friends at Dunphy Ford. 4:59 to play third quarter, and we'll take a break.
Ford is Mayfair's neighborhood Ford store.
Nobody knows your neighborhood like Dunphy Ford.
Nearly 40 years.
Right here on Frankfurt Avenue. Generation after generation. Our neighbors continue to be our customers. We have access to the cars and trucks you want with financing you need.
Dunphy Ford is Northeast Philly's first choice for America's #1 brand. 7700 Frankfurt Avenue in Mayfair. Online at www.dumpyford.com.
Come experience the Dunphy difference. You'll be glad you did.
Welcome back, folks. 2nd down and 12 for Imhotep. Both LaSalle players certainly seem okay after going down with what looked like cramps. Oh, how about that? The LaSalle Explorers, led by Rob Tatum, sniffed out that screenplay.
Another cramp happening, but, I mean, that was just a situation. You saw that coming from 10 yards out before that ball was even thrown. Just excellent job by Tatum recognizing where that ball was going, getting there, and just putting the hit on.
It's Brendan Fresco down on the play.
LaSalle's defense is really starting to get aggressive here, which is what they need to do to keep them in the game, because the offense has not been moving the ball and getting into the end zone. So I like the play we're seeing from them.
So we got pretty good feedback in the first half. I think let's tee it up in the second half. We gave some folks some love. Let's ask where you at. Where are you watching this game from? And
been a bit. Let us know.
Yes, we are live at Bob Long Sports on Twitter. And if you give us a shout on Twitter, at Bob Long Sports, tell us where you're watching from. If you happen to put your class or your affiliation with LaSalle, that's great too. We'll throw it out there live on air. Where are you at? 3rd down and long. Guys, I think essentially imperative here. Don't want to give this one up. Imhotep's deep in their own territory, an opportunity for good field position. Can they get the stop? DePaul throws it deep, well overthrown, and LaSalle gets the stop they need.
Hey, Bob, speaking of people where they're watching the game, I'm going to have to give a personal shout-out. LaSalle grad of 2017, my little brother Kieran at St. Joe's University.
Wow.
Back on campus watching. So, at the good old University of the Hawks and watching his old alma mater.
That's wonderful. Well, many thanks, Kieran, and we appreciate your patronage. We'll see you over at Hagen Arena soon.
Oh, yeah.
We'll just name all the A10 arenas here tonight before we're done. We got AJ Palumbo Arena over on
Love that
Duquesne's
shout out.
campus.
Loving that shout out.
I do what I can. Now here's the punt. It'll take a Imhotep hop across the 40-yard line, and look at that thing cook. Firm and fast, I tell you what. That is like it's like an Oakmont fairway out there. I'm going to give you all the Pittsburgh references you want.
Keep them rolling. That thing was coming down the Duquesne incline.
I don't get it.
You don't know? Oh, you don't know?
I
Oh, gosh. All right, thank you. Whew.
I don't get it.
All right, that's fine. At least one person in this booth did. Rolling down the Monongahela.
Yep. It's a river.
Yep.
In Pittsburgh.
Yep.
Got some water.
I don't know if you want to call it water, but
we'll leave that
got
one
something
right there. 4 minutes to play here, third quarter. LaSalle trails by 7. Machida in the shotgun. 2 receivers to the near side. They're going to give it off, and a lot of room there for DeVos. Keeps the legs churning and splits it in half, maybe even gets a little bit more. It'll be
nice.
2nd down and 4.
Nice strong run up the middle. DeVos looks like he's cramping up. I think that's what was bugging him the first time around and still bothering him here.
Yeah, a lot of guys are. It's
water boys.
It's tough to hydrate on a night like this. early, well, we'll say much earlier than normal for a high school football season as we sit here in mid-August.
LaSalle seems to be getting a lot more cramps than Imhotep.
Brad Vespi, he churns the legs. He keeps them moving and gets enough for a first down. That's a gain of 5.
Wrong 5-yard run.
And now let's see if LaSalle turns it up a little bit. If they get the pace going a little bit, hurry up offense, I think they can start to move the ball and start to wear down this Imhotep team. It's a 7-point deficit for LaSalle. 3 minutes to play in the third. Wow, the give to Vespi. Somehow they made that exchange. I think fortunate to get the ball into the pouch of Vespi and for a gain of 1.
So Machida's doing a lot of bending at the knees tonight to get down for those low snaps. Something clearly that I think coaches are going to recognize and get some work on. He needs some better exchanges in that shotgun.
They're hanging in here with the reigning 4A runner-up, Imhotep Charter. Pistol formation. Here is the give to Vespi. Vespi gets some momentum downhill and struggles across the 50. It's a gain of 5.
This is a real change of pace kind of situation. You know, obviously you got DeVos on the sideline, but Vespi and DeVos, you kind of relate it to maybe an Ingram, Mark Ingram, Alvin Kamara type situation where you got the strong downhill runner that can switch it up with the shifty fast guy. So it's a nice complementary situation they got in this LaSalle backfield.
I love Luke Hardy right here if they give it to him. And there he is, a little slipping out. Liam Tatlangari instead. Nice play. They recognize the imbalance in the secondary on the left-hand side and exploited it well. And actually, give Joe Wade a lot of credit for drawing up that play. When you see that and you have Luke Hardy then take the lone defensive back inside, takes him out of the play, and Liam Tatlangari able to get out into the flat. Wonderful play design.
Great play design and great execution by Machida. So showing some, strong growth here, from one half to the next. So
2 receivers out to the far side. Ball in the near hash. Here's the give to Vespi. Changes direction and scoots forward for 2.
It's nice to, we had fun, I feel like, last year when we were calling Vespi's name towards the end of games. And it's nice to see these kids as they get older, get their opportunities to step up and having a real impact on a game. And that's kind of what we've, year 4, these are the things you start to realize. Guys growing up and getting a little older and making their imprint on this Explorers team.
You could tell he had something last year, for sure. 2nd and 8. Machida, quick throw to the outside. There's Hardy. Out of bounds, close to the first down marker. It'll be 3rd down and short. That's another thing you like if you're the LaSalle offensive coaching staff is giving Machida reads where he can get rid of the ball quickly. Catch and throw.
Yep.
And that thwarts some of the attack through the middle off the blitz of Imhotep, and it gets him a little bit more comfortable with the rhythm, and then you can work through progressions later.
Yep.
The give up the middle, Tatlangari, that's enough for a first down. The big boy goes through the middle.
Nice job just using the Tatlangari's close distance from the line of scrimmage to just drill him up the middle and pick up that first down. But you go back to those throws and those timing routes, like you said, Bob, it's important for a young quarterback like Machida to build confidence, to sort of see the ball, leave his arm and fall into the arms of a receiver, build that confidence, and one thing leads to another, and you got yourself a solid quarterback here under center. Might
be the last play of the third quarter. Machida throws it out wide, finds Daly. Daly down inside the 20-yard line, a gain of 8. And LaSalle will enter the fourth quarter down 7, but with some momentum offensively.
And another one of those timing routes here to end the third quarter, rather. Set up the fourth quarter. Oh my goodness, my numbers, mixing them up, Bob. So start the fourth quarter for LaSalle. In a nice situation, maybe get this score leveled up to kick off the final quarter of this first game.
Headed to the fourth here on BLS. Bob Long, Seamus Morgan, Rob Stott. A big shout out to Griffin & Co. We had two great LaSalle students helping us out here tonight with the camera for the first three quarters. And now we're excited to welcome back Mara Jones, back behind the camera. She's done a great job for us in the past, and you'll see her in the fourth quarter. So hang on, stay with us. We got a good one coming up here from Upper Dublin.
Ford is Mayfair's neighborhood Ford store.
Nobody knows your neighborhood like Dunphy Ford.
Nearly 40 years.
Right here on Frankfurt Avenue. Generation after generation. Our neighbors continue to be our customers. We have access to the cars and trucks you want with financing you need.
Dunphy Ford is Northeast Philly's first choice for America's #1 brand. 7700 Frankfurt Avenue in Mayfair. Online at www.
Welcome back, everybody. Beginning of the fourth quarter. And LaSalle back up to the line, second and short. Tatlangari won't get it. Big rush up the middle from Imhotep. And now it'll be 3rd and 3. From the 18-yard line, LaSalle has had a very nice drive down the field here. And I would think at this time in the game, you would still consider a field goal. However, Gandolfo missed it fairly unconvincingly at the end of the first half. Would you want a little bit closer anyways? Could this still be 4-down territory here with 3 yards to play? And now that'll change things up. Unfortunate with movement from the LaSalle Explorers. And Imhotep now might be able to pin its ears back a little bit and take a run at the quarterback.
It's a bigger penalty than you might realize, just 5 yards, but takes a 3rd and very manageable into a 3rd and long situation, and potentially very much so out of field goal range for Gandolfo here early on in this season.
Especially at this point in the game, down 7. I know it's early in the fourth, but it's chances like this that you really got to capitalize to have a shot to win.
And a low snap. Machida comes up with it, fires it out to Vespi. He's got a lot of room inside the 15-yard line. That's a first down for LaSalle, and the junior Machida showing some stones there, able to pick it up, stay within himself, and find the open man, Vespi.
And Imhotep, like you called, Bob, did pin their ears back and came after him. Machida had a little extra heat after having to deal with a low snap, but able to find the ball, keep his composure, find Vespi, and what a nice pickup on 3rd down there, setting up the Explorers with a fresh set here inside the red zone.
First down and 10 at the 13-yard line. Machida in the shotgun. Vespi to his right. They're going to go for the lob. Hardy comes down with it. They say incomplete.
Oh,
incomplete. It looked from here like he got his foot down.
Unfortunate you don't have the opportunity to go and look at replay in high school football, but that looked like a gorgeous catch, and just apparently didn't get the toe down.
I would love to see a replay of that.
Thankfully, we got the video running. We can go back, flag that, Bob.
Yeah,
be sure to go back and look at that after this one. That sure looked like a heck of a grab.
Here they go the other way, and dropped by Sean Daly. 3rd down and 10 upcoming.
Zach McKinney's pass incomplete, intended for Sean Daly.
All right, 3rd down and 10, 10-14 to play. This is a big one here, guys. LaSalle trailing by 7. Again, that hardy play, will that come back to burn LaSalle? Looked like he might have gotten the foot down, but they're going for it here. 3rd and 10, looking to find a way, and it's thrown into traffic. Incomplete, probably better so.
So do you take the points and feel comfortable, get a little bit closer? I mean, one way or the other, the thing is, guys, you're still going to need a touchdown. Touchdown here ties you up. Field goal means, if you get a touchdown, you grab the lead. So my gut, I know I'm a gambler. Sounds worse when I say that out loud. It sounded good in my head before I said it, but my gut says to take the points.
Well, looks like we're going to take the points here.
Gandolfo tees it up from 30 yards, and it is good. Slides over the bar. It's not how they teach it, but they collect the points nonetheless and cut the deficit to 4. So Gandolfo, boy, he's really, really kicking the ball well on the kickoffs, but hasn't quite found the footing kicking field goals tonight. But hey, listen, you got the points, you take it, you move on. And LaSalle is back within 4. Still a lot of time left in this one, Seamus. 10 minutes is a long, long way. You can get, in theory, 2 to 3 drives out of that 10-minute span if you can get some stops defensively.
Oh, we got a lot of football left to play, Bob. I'm hoping, best opportunity is a 3-and-out, but LaSalle's defense the goal is to keep it short. Give as much opportunity and as much time as LaSalle can have the ball on offense as possible.
Well, I think you make a good point there about field position as well. If you can give your offense a relatively short field, the way they've been moving the football, they can continue that positive offensive movement, pick up the pace, as we've seen a little bit about the, not the pure no huddle, but a little bit of hurry up offense, and can continue to wear down this Imhotep defense. Imhotep, they want exactly the opposite. They want a long, methodical drive, and they certainly have the capability to do it. Yusef Terry brings it out from the goal line, makes one miss. Out past the 20 and out to the 26-yard line.
Isiah Turner on the return.
LaSalle defense back out onto the field. They haven't had a ton of work here in the second half.
I'm a little disappointed in ourselves. Nearly, a little over 3 quarters into this season, and we haven't yet mentioned the fact that we're living in a world now where this city has a Super Bowl championship.
And it has been said.
Now it's been said. Philadelphia Eagles are world champs, boys. How do you feel about that, Bob?
I feel fine. Glad they beat the Patriots.
There we go.
Here's a big gash, and he turns it upfield. It's a foot race to the 30, and he stiff arms his way into the end zone.
Wow.
Touchdown, Imhotep Charter.
Tyke Smith takes it 73 yards to the house, and it's 20-10.
3-yard touchdown run.
Quick strikes. I mean, you wanted quick drives, but not with that kind of a result.
Not that.
Just LaSalle defense wasn't ready for that one. It seemed like a pretty standard little toss play to the outside and just turned on the Jets. Could not catch up.
So for LaSalle, as they go for the 2-point conversion, this becomes doubly important. Obviously, Imhotep not trusting their kicking game. However, if they stop them here, still a 2-possession game. If they do not, all of a sudden you need still 2 possessions, but you'll need 2 touchdowns to come back from a 12-point deficit. Here's the lob going over the top. Nice play by Yusef Terry. 2-point conversion is converted, and it is 22-10. Imhotep.
Would have liked to see Rob Tatum there, on defense, turn around and look for that ball because it got a little juke out, faked out by the receiver there, kind of looking at him. Went to the one side, made it look like he was coming over the one ball was coming over his one shoulder, when in reality it was coming over the other. You know, just turn your head around, maybe see where that ball's coming from, have an opportunity to go up and prevent the completion there and the 2 points.
So LaSalle, they need to come back offensively certainly quickly if they want to stay in this one. And Imhotep, you see the firepower and the capability offensively. Big strike play from the 4A runner-up here in the PIAA last year. There is no doubting the offensive firepower and the playmakers that are all across this Imhotep Panthers team.
None whatsoever. I mean, quick strike ability, clearly. You know, you see from the 73-yard touchdown run to, I know it's a 2-point conversion, but just putting the ball up and letting your receiver go grab it. Very athletic all across the board.
Anthony Gordon to kick off for Imhotep Charter. Deep for the Explorers, number 2, Brad Vespi. Number 5, Sean Daly.
Still plenty of time, though, for the Explorers.
Lots of time, but this is where you know, time management comes into play. Not only scoring a touchdown, but making sure you don't take up too much of the clock.
Anthony Gordon toes it deep. And there's Daly picking it at the 12. Out to the 25, out to the 35, and taken down at the 38-yard line. So with 9:32 to play, LaSalle gets the ball back, down by 12. They'll need 2 touchdowns to take the lead. And it's interesting, Seamus, you say not take too much time off the clock, and certainly that's true. You don't want a 7-minute drive right now. But I also don't think you change anything dramatically right now. There's still the time to go down, get a touchdown. You can certainly stop them, go 3 and out. All 3 timeouts still remain for the Explorers. I think there's a lot of time and resources at their disposal. And I think you just continue to run the offense at this point, normally.
Oh, absolutely. No dramatic changes, but they just got to, you know, being aware of what quarter it is and what they need to do.
Here's Liam Tatlingari taken down at the line of scrimmage. A big play there by number 22, Tamir Johnson.
Liam Tatlingari on the carry.
He looks like he's coming up a little hobbled.
Yeah, he was taken out below the knees there. Second and 9 for the Explorers in the shotgun. Machida rolls, throws, and nice play by Diarra. Diarra out to the 45-yard line. It'll be 3rd down and 3 upcoming for the Explorers.
Nice job by Machida looking out, finding his big man, making the completion, and setting up a 3rd and manageable here.
4 down territory here for the Explorers, no doubt, around the midfield stripe. They need the 48 for a 1st down. Ticking under 8 minutes and 30 seconds to play in the final quarter. Diarra lines up just off the line. Machida looking, fires over the middle, and dropped by Sean Daly. Good defense over the middle, reacting to the play. It looked like number 3, St. McLeod.
Nearly picked off there, but Machida, the arm strength, I mean, again, even though that pass falls incomplete, I like that he's willing to take that chance and get that ball inside that window. He's got the arm strength to do it. It got there, just couldn't come down with the completion.
It was actually number 2, Tyke Smith, in coverage, reacting late, but able to get a hand in there and make the catch difficult for Daly. 8:10 to play. 4th down and 3. LaSalle trails by 12 here in the 4th. Machida steps back, throws, and it's short. Tried to get it out of his hands too quickly and short-armed it into the ground. Turnover on downs, and Imhotep takes over.
Imhotep Charter takes over on down.
That almost felt like a situation where Machida wasn't ready to throw the ball, tried to throw it a little sooner than he wanted to, and just short-armed it. Comes up short and turnover on downs.
8:07 now to play. 3 timeouts remaining for the Explorers still. An opportunity to get a stop, get the ball back, and continue driving down the field. It's been a couple big plays that have hurt the Explorers.
Need a turnover.
Sutton Christian throws it out wide. Screenplay over the middle. What a player there, running through tackles. Deshaun Seals. He's headed to West Virginia next year, and he made about 3 miss.
You can really see the Imhotep offense starting to open up, exploiting the faults of LaSalle. And, I mean, they've played great through the game so far, but, you know, this is where we really need to stop.
Now it'll be single coverage in the slot. LaSalle doesn't have a safety here. Sutton Christian takes off running with it and gets 2 yards. Guys, one thing I really like about Jalen Sutton Christian and the way he runs this offense, and DePaul's a great quarterback certainly and can move the ball down the field probably a little bit better than what we've seen from Christian. But Christian does so well to get the ball out of his hands quickly into the hands of his playmakers in space. And quite frankly, the type of teams that Imhotep is going to play this year, that's all you need. And I think Sutton Christian does a really good job of putting playmakers in positions to succeed quickly.
Yeah, he's got pocket presence. I mean, we'll let this play run.
Here's the give. Tyke Smith with a stiff arm. That'll give him enough for a first down.
But Sutton Christian, I mean, when he's standing in the pocket, he's sort of got greater pocket awareness, I think, than DePaul. And, you know, he's able to – he doesn't seem as jittery. You know, DePaul was kind of in the face of pressure, sort of bouncing around, unsure of himself, whereas Sutton Christian is clearly, you know, familiar with this offense and knows where he wants to go with the ball, who he wants to get it in the hands of, and it's shown here in the second half especially.
Here's the give to the outside. Deshaun Seals on the jet sweep. Inside the 10-yard line, nice job by Zaire to make the play. A really, really solid player. I think McLaurin is going to be a key guy for this team. You see him all over the field and might be the difference between Seals in the end zone or not.
And just a sophomore, so has time to grow. A young kid will grow in this defense. So it'll be interesting to see how big he steps up how much he steps up all year long.
11 on the play clock, 6:12 on the game clock. They fake the give. Bootleg, quarterback to the end zone. Sutton Christian dives home. Touchdown, Imhotep.
Touchdown, Imhotep Charter. Jalen Sutton Christian on the quarterback.
And Imhotep,
and 7-yard touchdown.
said it, Seamus, starting to open it up. You know, this offense is really now finally hitting its stride here in the fourth quarter. At the wrong time for the Explorers, but you know, really starting to pull away now here in the fourth.
Absolutely, just in what feels like a quick, short few plays, going from a close, low-scoring game to really opening it up.
They'll go for 2 again, as they have every single time tonight. And they give inside. They won't get it that time, so the Explorers get a stop. They are now 2 for 4 on 2-point conversion attempts, and the Explorers trail 28-10. 6:04 to play, and Imhotep showing perhaps their ability to wear down this LaSalle defense, a team that held Imhotep to just 6 points in the first half. Now have given up 24, or I should say 22 points in the last 18 minutes of play.
Yeah, we talked about that at halftime, that bend don't break mentality, and the cracks are starting to show here in the second half for the Explorers.
And a lot of times in high school football, that can be how it manifests.
Mm-hmm.
You hang, and really any level of athletics, you hang in, and then eventually Tyke Smith is coming at you on the edge, and that tackle you made in the first half, you know, getting up for that big-time play, is tougher to make in the second half because he is just tremendous.
He doesn't slow down.
Still, certainly an opportunity for LaSalle to get a quick touchdown and then think about whether it's onside kick or, using timeouts defensively. Still an opportunity with half of this fourth quarter to go to find a way to climb back into this game. Out to the 30-yard line, hit there, and out to the 34 when all is said and done. Brad Vespi takes it about 25 yards.
Out to the 33-yard line, where LaSalle will take over first.
You mentioned not wanting to change up the offense much, and I still early on, not like this is a late season situation where there's anything super on the line, but you got an opportunity now where you're down a couple scores, time's running low. You try to take some shots, really see what this offense is capable of early on, or is it still you're keeping the ship steady and going as is? What do you think?
I think you take some shots. I know it's early in the season, so now's the time to do so. You got nothing to lose.
Taking a shot that time, unfortunately, is Machida. Play broke down, and a big-time sack from number 7, Zymir Cobbs.
Unfortunate breakdown up front there for the Explorers. Line unable to hold. Machida looked like he wanted to take a shot, just didn't have the time to do so.
9-yard loss on the play.
2nd and 19 upcoming for the Explorers. Clock ticks under 5 minutes, 25 seconds to play. Reminder, we'll be here next week as well, actually over in Lansdale for a game against North Penn, as Vespi gets a chunk back about 3 yards from the line, and we'll be, again, streaming the game Friday night, 7 o'clock p.m., Labor Day weekend. You find yourself going down to the shore or wherever you may be, pop us on in the car or on the beach, wherever it might. Well, not if you're driving.
No.
You can be a passenger heading down the
safe.
shore and turn us on.
So you're going to have a long-distance viewer next week, Bob, because this is my annual I will not be here weekend. Work calls, and I'll be in Berlin, Germany for a trade show. So you'll have an international viewer.
We really know. We appreciate you coming back for the game and then heading back to Berlin. That's tremendous. Good dedication. Now Machida fires over the middle. Hardy can't catch it.
But you'll be able to say that you're officially an international broadcast.
We are.
So,
although we have Mr. Doty, who watched from Ireland every game last year.
That's incredible. That's
taking
right.
it
That's
international.
right.
That's awesome.
Really appreciate that. Appreciate all our viewers here hanging in with us over the last couple seasons. So now 4th down and 15. LaSalle will bring the punting unit out. But that's going to be a very interesting game. In fact, that's Steve DePaul's former school. He transferred as a junior to North Penn, and then just a year later transferred to Imhotep.
And last we checked, Neshaminy was in the process of beating North Penn tonight so far.
And that one was a booty kick, but the ball is loose, touched by Imhotep. LaSalle thinks they came up with it. Now, here's an interesting ruling for you. That ball didn't get beyond the line of scrimmage, but that should still be LaSalle football, even though they wouldn't have gotten to the first down marker. So it's going to be LaSalle football.
So the touch indicates a change of possession,
That's
correct?
Right.
So
that is the rule.
That punt turned into a 3-yard gain, essentially, but with obviously the fresh set of downs, and LaSalle now back in control of the football.
Can I throw out what every Imhotep coach is thinking right now?
Do it.
What is he thinking? That ball is trickling out of bounds at the 35-yard line. You're up 18 points with 4 minutes to go. And you go dive on that football.
What kind of superhero are you trying to be?
Yeah, I think he just saw a touchdown with all the open green if he got that ball.
Machida hangs in there and makes a really good throw, just dropped by Luke Hardy. And
took a
Hardy,
shot.
Yeah, Hardy's had a tough second half here, guys.
You know, a lot of drop passes by LaSalle here in the second half that are kind of hurting us.
I'm impressed with Machida hanging in there.
Yeah, that was way to stay. He may not have known that hit was coming, but he stood in there, fired the ball downfield, and took a lick. Need to look into some sponsorships from some Stickum, maybe. Get some stickum for these wide receivers' gloves.
Wasn't that banned by the NFL?
Might have been. I don't know. I don't know. High school level, I haven't heard anything.
Machida, nice move there. Now's got to get rid of it. Takes another shot and throws it away. Might have been well served to throw it away. Maybe a half second earlier.
Yeah.
And now Machida come up with a little bit of a gimp after that hit. 3rd down and 10. We'll send Brad Vespi back out to the field. Jalen DeVos comes off. Guys, I do think we saw some good things from this LaSalle offense today. You're just running into a team that we knew was going to be a very, very difficult matchup because of the experience they have coming back, because of the college talent they have, and their recent success. Hangs in there again, throws over the middle, and incomplete. A little bit low, the pass intended for Brad Vespi. And it'll be 4th down again.
And at this point, 4 minutes to go. Imagine you're going to see a punt. I don't know.
Machida's going to stay out there. Gets the call from Joe Wade and out to the huddle. I know you guys were talking about taking shots. You know, they've been getting so much pressure. It's tough to have the time to take a shot.
Yeah, they really haven't had the time to get their receivers downfield.
4-man rush here from Imhotep. Decent protection this time, thrown over the top and bumped off his route. There comes the late flag. It'll be a 1st down for LaSalle on the pass interference. I think it's going to be pass interference versus the illegal contact based on whether the ball was in the air or not when the contact happened.
Agree with you, and that's also part of the reason you want to see some of those shots downfield, because things like that can happen. You can get those calls that can really put momentum on your side, whether it's a complete pass or not. You get a flag, ball moves downfield a little bit, fresh set of downs. Anything can happen, when you start stretching the field like that.
So LaSalle converts on 4th.
15-yard penalty, 1st down LaSalle.
And again, for as poorly as the offense has played here in the 4th quarter, they sit right near the midfield stripe. 3:55 to go. All 3 timeouts. And down 3 scores. Daly makes the catch and is run out of bounds after a gain of 2.
Another nice timing route there, and a completion by Machida.
Under 4 minutes to play. Luke Hardy, Sean Daly, out wide to the far side. Khalil Diarra to the near side. Time for Machida. Now time runs out. Takes off with it. Machida will scoot out of bounds, sticking the ball out, trying to get the 1st down, but he'll be a yard short. 3rd down and 1 upcoming for the Explorers.
Nice job by Machida there, recognizing, every man was covered. It looked like zone defense there for Imhotep, so just not a lot of spaces in that zone. But enough space out wide to take the ball, tuck it, and run. Pick up a good chunk of yards there on 2nd down.
3rd down and 2. .337 to play. LaSalle now inside Imhotep territory. The give is to DeVos, and he's got enough for a 1st down. A gain of 3. Gets the chains moving. Clock stops with 3 minutes, 32 seconds to play. And now I think you're going to see a little bit of hurry up for the Explorers.
Yep. See Coach Wade on the sideline urging him. Got his arm going in a circle. Hurry up, hurry up. Let's get this ball moving.
And confusion as they go up to the line. None of this looks smooth right now. Let's see if they get the snap off the way they want it. 5 receivers for Machida. Stepping up, a good throw over the middle. Tatlingari makes the play, a gain of 3. Clock's going to tick under 3:05 to play.
And at the very least, time is coming off the clock here. But it's nice to see the Explorers kind of at the end of this first game here get some good momentum, a nice drive going, and maybe something to carry forward here.
Another 5-receiver wide set. Machida in the backfield. Pressure coming. He steps up well, and he was pulled off the route. Luke Hardy pulled that. No call from the referee. Again, it was right in front of that referee in the middle of the field. Maybe a little bit late turning the head. It is tough to see why that wasn't called.
Little surprised at the no call there.
But it does stop the clock, if nothing else. 2:35 to play. 3rd down and 7. Machida takes a step back. Here comes the screen, and Vespi taken down. Incomplete pass. Probably a good thing he dropped it. That was sniffed out from the start.
Yeah, I think I heard from the sideline that being called out by their coaches that it was going to be a screen. So Imhotep, something tipped them off right away. They knew and read it out, sniffed it out perfectly, and make a big stop on 3rd down and set up a 4th and long here for the Explorers.
Well, this looks like it here for the Explorers. Certainly without a conversion here would be all she wrote here in the first one. LaSalle trying to put more on the board and then have a look at an onside kick. It starts with 4th and 7 here, 3 wide to the far side. Machida steps up, throws it, and it's caught, but it looks like it might be a pass interference against the offense. I think Hardy might have pushed off of the defensive back, Tyke Smith.
Waiting on any call.
Oh, it's a defensive hold. And an offsetting penalty, the hold against the offense. Boy, that's a bailout call. No matter what side you're on. Now, the point about offsetting penalties is you replay the down, so certainly it helps Imhotep.
Offsetting penalties, holding on both teams.
But when's the last time you saw dual holding against a wide receiver and cornerback? Name it, Rob. You're on the spot.
I can't even think about it. Can you?
Gosh, that's a bad call.
Yeah, it's pretty terrible.
Doesn't matter the time in the game.
You guys were hugging, so we're going to call it on both of you. I don't know. That's weird. Unless the hold wasn't somewhere else, was it?
No, that was it. It came right down where Luke Hardy made the play.
They were just trying to be fair.
4th down and 7. We'll do it again. Machida gets rid of it, throws it high, and incomplete. Never had a shot on that one. Threw it into double coverage to a 5'4" receiver, and the Explorers turn it over on downs.
I don't know if I was the only one that saw that or thought I saw it, but Kiara was a little open there.
Right underneath, the Vespi
right there.
route.
I saw him when he threw it. He was standing all alone.
Kind of arms up like, hey, is that? Oh, not coming to me.
2:18 to play, 4th quarter. Imhotep with an 18-point lead and the football. Looking to salt away their first win of the season on the road to what should be another very successful season for the Panthers. Thrown out wide, high, intended for number 11, Karam Cummings.
Incomplete, intended for Karam Cummings.
Second down and 10 upcoming for the Panthers. DePaul back out there in the shotgun. 3 receivers out wide. Here's the give to the inside. Makes one miss and scoots out past the 40-yard line. Demir Green gets his first carry of the night. Brendan Fresco, the senior linebacker, in there on the stop. Under 2 minutes to play. Rob will tell you, and Seamus. I only say Rob because I've been doing this with him for 4 years. It is great to be back, my friend.
It's
and
fun.
Looking forward to another great year.
It is going to be a good year. I mean, one way or the other, it's always fun to be out here watching these Explorers play, getting some close connections with this team.
Deep throw caught inside the 20-yard line and dragged down at the 10. Karam Cummings, a big gain.
Maintaining the connection with the school and the community, the teachers, the faculty, the students even. It's nice seeing them and Mr. Johnson, offering up the services of some of his students, that get to spend some time with us up here in the booth. So, and you. It's nice to spend time with you, Bob.
Thanks, Rob.
I appreciate the opportunity to come up here and do this on a regular basis.
I appreciate your time. Means a lot.
Even if I give you a hard time.
It's part of the fun. 1:07 to play. DePaul takes the snap. Here is the give. Green again up the middle inside the 10-yard line to the 8.
Hey, I got to carry off about what Rob said being up here. This is my first time, probably only my third appearance on the show. But first time doing a LaSalle football game, and it's been a lot of fun. I'm excited about the season. They showed some good signs, and this was a good time, and would love to be on again, definitely.
Well, we appreciate you coming out, man. It's good to have you.
I think we'll allow it.
Yeah, I hope.
Pistol formation here.
Standards, but
DePaul with the handoff. Here's Green. LaSalle can't get the stop. It'll be a touchdown in the dying embers of the game. Touchdown. Imhotep makes it 34-10.
I'll let you guys give me my evaluation after the game, see how it went,
Listen.
We'll do that one off there.
You talk about standards.
That's a good one, yeah.
You talk about standards. If Bob lets me on the air, I think he's setting standards pretty low for where the color commentary's got to be for LaSalle football. No.
Thank you.
Being hard on myself, I guess. If I could dish it out, I could dish it to myself too. Fair treatment to all parties on air.
Well,
I've left him speech for the first time in his career. Bob Long has no words, and this might be the end of Rob Stott's career.
I'm speechless for 2 reasons. One, you guys just being very self-deprecating after I said you did a good job. And the second thing is Imhotep lining up for an extra point.
Oh, here we go.
Oh, wow. I haven't seen this all night.
That also leaves me speechless.
Well, they just took a penalty on this extra point attempt, so let's see if they...
I guess now they're giving the kicker a shot.
He's taking his steps from the line of... Oh, that's the holder. Okay. It's like, wait a minute, why is he taking the steps from the line of scrimmage? The toe kick extra point is closer
than I thought.
No, me too. It makes sense now.
I see why they're going for the 2-pointers.
They unveiled their reasoning for us at the tail end.
I give the kid credit. He went for it.
So your score 34-10. This Imhotep team is very, very impressive. They have a lot of skilled players. They're going to be a really tough matchup for the Philadelphia Public League all year long and for 4A in general. I think Cathedral Prep, who, again, starts this season as #1 ranked in the state in the Quad A, I think that they have a team here in Imhotep that they're going to watch out for. You can't get much further away from one another while being in the state of Pennsylvania, but Erie, Cathedral Prep, and Imhotep might be on a collision course in Hershey come later in the season.
Yeah, I mean, it's clear that the level of talent that they have, coming out of the gate, maybe with some rust early on, but that wore off pretty quickly to start the second half, and the athleticism showed through, the talent shone through, and Quad A is going to have some kind of trouble on their hands with Imhotep.
Kevin Lewis, number 32, to kick it deep. There's your squibber. Caught in the middle of the field. Nice return there. Out to the 40-yard line. The big man. First touch of the game for Grant Hughes, the junior tight end. 16.7 seconds to play.
Worth doing anything here? Take a knee?
Take a knee.
Yeah.
I think that's what you'll see. And, LaSalle has a lot to build on. I think you saw some good things from your junior quarterback, Jack Machida. I think you saw some good things from your receivers. But, there is room for improvement here. And actually, we're going to get a look at the backup quarterback for the Explorers. Byron Hopkins takes it and out to the 45-yard line, makes one miss and has the first down out past the 50-yard line, and he's out of bounds. So we'll get one more play at it, but a good run that time from the quarterback, Hopkins. And they will tick it down to 000. Your final score, Imhotep 34, LaSalle 10. The Explorers open the season with a loss, and they'll head to North Penn next Friday night on Friday of Labor Day weekend for their second game of the year, and it's not going to get much easier.
Nah, we talked about it, I think, at the half that, LaSalle likes to start these. Well, not start. They like to challenge themselves. They don't give themselves an easy schedule. They kind of, that baptism by fire reference that I used, they don't make it easy on themselves no matter who's under center, what the talent up and down this roster looks like. And that's the case, next week going to North Penn. So
your final score once again, 34-10, Imhotep the winner. Seamus, your thoughts on what you saw out there tonight?
I thought they had a good opening. Definitely drove well. The defense played well through most of the game until the end. Imhotep definitely opened it up. LaSalle's got good signs. A lot of new people coming in. Still some unanswered questions. You can't tell a full team after just one game, and they went up against tough competition. So I think that's how your players learn best, is going up against good teams. And they got another test coming up next week, so hopefully they can learn and adapt quickly, and that this tough competition eventually turns into their favor.
There's no doubt about that. This is a building team. This is a team for not just this year, but for next year. You have a lot of juniors, a lot of sophomores that are getting time. I think you're seeing the line develop a lot. I think 4 quarters was a lot to ask for both the offensive and defensive line. They were in it for 2 quarters, but then Imhotep just showed that experience. And being a junior and a senior at the high school level versus a sophomore, we don't really need to say it, but it is an enormous deal. Yeah. And I think you're seeing guys really seeing their first action of their career. 11 new contributors on the offense, an entirely new offense. And they came out here, went right down the field in their first drive, and scored on one of the better teams that anybody in the state of Pennsylvania is going to see at any level. So I think, you see a lot of good things for this team, and they'll move forward, and they'll take on North Penn next Friday. So thanks for being here, boys. Certainly appreciate it, and we'll turn your attention to the band as they play the alma mater.